Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition All Hecata Chronicle Berlin Bloodlines. This is episode 5, Mirror of the Heart. This episode is something a little different, and we'll be bringing you 4 separate scenes, all taking place roughly on the same night, but not necessarily at the same time. And we'll be introducing the players at the appropriate times, starting first with Luna.
Hi, I'm Luna, or druidbynight. You can find me at druidbynight on all the things, including on Twitch and Patreon. And tonight I will be playing Imogen Lamia.
Hello everyone, I am Ramos, aka RamostheNomad. That's everywhere, TikTok, Twitter, Twitch, all the social media things. And tonight I will be playing Dr. Tullio Giovanni.
I am Huddy. I don't know if I even introduced myself since the first episode, because I always forget. I'm a World of Darkness community ambassador and your storyteller this evening. There we go. Got it out of the way. As always, this is a Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition actual play. We've gone over our safety and consent. Please check in with yourselves, as your well-being is important to us who are playing. All the content warnings for this game will be in the description below. So if you all are ready, lass uns anfangen. Ramos, what does that mean?
Let us begin.
Very good. And let's return to Berlin, a few nights after the Bahari ceremony. When it comes to vampires, love takes on an enigmatic and perilous quality, echoing the eternal struggle between the hunger for blood and the yearning for connection. At its core, a kindred in love embodies a paradoxical blend of passion and torment. Vampires can find themselves entwined in relationships that blur the line between predator and prey, where trust becomes a fragile currency in the nocturnal world they inhabit. Love can also become a tool for manipulation, as the politics of the undead are often fueled by twisted affections. Yet amidst the darkness and intrigue, there is a haunting beauty to the love stories that unfold. Kindred, cursed to exist in the perpetual night, seek solace in the arms of those who understand the complexities of their existence, as well as those who are far removed from it. These relationships are tinged with a bittersweet melancholy, as the lovers navigate the turbulent waters of eternity, haunted by the ghosts of their past and the uncertainty of their future. Tonight we explore the boundaries of morality, the seduction of the forbidden, and the enduring power of connection in a world where the border between light and dark is forever obscured. We begin our scene tonight in the Mitte, 2 kindred on the hunt. Imogen, would you make me an intelligence and investigation roll, please?
Of course. 400
Because someone is hungry.
That's all. Okay, perfect.
Is that all hunger dice for you?
Just all hunger dice and 1 black die.
Can I provide a help action of some sort?
That depends. How many dots in investigation do you have, or do you have a specialty in investigation?
I cannot provide a help action at this time.
I appreciate the thought. That would be 4 successes.
Amazing. So since the Bahari party, ceremony, however you like to put it, you've been staying with Tullio. You haven't gone back home. And so you've spent a little bit of time investigating the area where Tullio lives, called the Mitte. And it is a district that is very popular among tourists, but also, of course, among locals. And you have heard of a man who has been seen on the Haltestellen, which is what we call where you stand and wait for a tram to come, who has been sort of harassing women on the Haltestellen. And tonight it seems like the perfect night to wait him out. So you stand there with Tullio, and you're watching very focused. And Tullio, you notice this. She's extremely focused. If you wanted to have a conversation with her now, it's not the time. She's not in a talking mood. She's in a hunting mood. And eventually you see this man, and you have learned in the time that you've talked to some people who have been harassed by him, and his name is Oscar. And you see him standing there. He's wearing sort of a lumpy, puffy jacket and ill-fitting slacks, and he's just standing there looking horrifically suspicious. But he's right in the middle of where people are and under a light.
Okay, is there like an alley or somewhere less suspicious or more suspicious?
Absolutely. You're in the heart of Berlin.
Okay, perfect. Can I go up to him, turn on the charm, tap his shoulder and beckon him to follow me.
Sure, you tap him on the shoulder, and he looks at you, and he says, well, hey, guten Abend. Sieht süß aus. You look sweet.
Good evening. Looking for a good time?
Always. How much you charge?
Come find out.
He shrugs his shoulders, and he follows you into the alley. Tullio, how close or far behind this are you?
Giving her space, trying to be within shadow perspective earshot, but without...
Do you want to activate shadow perspective for this, or do you want to watch in a mundane way? Because you'll have to risk the hunger.
I'll risk the hunger.
Okay, then make me a rouse check.
Success.
All right, so you are listening to this conversation, and you can certainly maintain sort of awareness of where Imogen is going and what she's saying. So you
still trying to give her space.
Mm-hmm. So you lead him into an alley, and he sort of, looks ready. He reaches down for his belt, and you know that if you bite into him, he is going to scream. And which is sort of my intention of asking Tullio what he's doing in order to help you keep him silent.
I mean, I could cover his mouth. I don't know how effective that would be.
Let me be more clear. You can feed on him, but he doesn't get the bliss, right? So he's going to scream.
Yeah.
So you can feed on him, but I need a roll, as I've made Edgar roll a few times now when he's had to feed on people, strength for holding on to them. Because this is more than just, ow, this hurts. This is an instinctual thing where mortals and even kindred will do anything they can to get away from you. Even dislocating their own limbs.
Right. Yeah, I can roll that if need be.
All right. And Tullio, you also want to drink. So as you hear this man starting to struggle, you can certainly make your way in. Imogen, I need a strength and composure roll, please. Or a strength and athletics roll, whichever's higher for you.
Perfect. Strength. Where's my athletics? 2. Oh, they're both 2. All right. Willpower.
Or Tullio can help you if you want to save your willpower.
I would love
I'd love to.
So then Tullio can also roll me a strength and athletics or strength and composure roll, whichever's higher for you. He's like, both aren't super high. I say, looking at his sheet.
I'm gonna go strength and composure.
Go for it. What did you roll in total, Imogen? 0?
No, I rolled 2 with the possible bestial failure.
Okay.
So that's why I'm ready to willpower.
Mm-hmm.
2 successes.
Okay. So with the combined effort of Imogen, one hand clasped over his mouth as you bite into his neck, and Tullio, one hand against his chest, keeping him pressed up against the wall, blocking his arms from swinging at you as you feed, you may begin draining him. And Tullio, you may also lean in for a snip. You need what? Just 1? Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, so you lean in for a quick snip, and of course he starts thrashing even more, but with the combined effort, the teamwork making the dream work here, he can't move, he can't do anything. And Tullio, you can remove 1 hunger, and you remove your fangs from his neck and leave that horrific, aggravated bite on his neck. And Imogen, you may remove all of your hunger as you allow this man to die. Now, the issue is you have a dead body in an alleyway.
Yeah.
So what is the typical... Now, I know typically what Imogen would do is put the body in a car, bring it back to Hannah-Laurie, and put it in the garden. But we're not in a position to do that at the moment. So what do you think Imogen will do?
They're a dumpster.
There is.
Can I make a common sense roll?
You know what? As a storyteller and as a person, I don't feel like I have the common sense to help you out here. Honestly, I'm not skilled myself in hiding a dead body.
That's fair.
I can help with this.
But certainly you can ask your coterie mate for help.
She'll look up to Tullio with just like, okay, what now? With like a look of what now?
Tullio, when Imogen sort of looks at you, gives you this look of like, what do I do now? You sort of get this feeling that Imogen's on life has very much revolved around the teachings of how Hannelore has taught her how to feed and how to get rid of bodies. That outside of that, it's likely that Imogen doesn't have the skills of thinking on her feet, at least not yet.
Right. Okay. You, this is new to you, isn't it?
I usually bring him to the garden.
Right. Tell you what, we're in an alleyway, correct?
Mhm.
We're gonna hang out here. I'm gonna bring the car around. We're gonna bring him with us temporarily.
Okay, we're in Berlin. There's no way you can bring a car here. We're on the alleyway behind the Haltestelle. There's no cars here.
Yeah.
We're in Europe, so this is really important to remember. We're talking walking cities.
You have your bag of tricks with you? Knives and all that?
I'd say she always has a knife on her person.
I would say you always have your daggers and your brass knuckles on your person.
Yeah.
Well, there's a couple things we're gonna take from him before we just dump him in a dumpster. It's gonna help leave the police a little bit. Give us a little more time for the police to identify him. One I can use. The other two are just for safekeeping. We're going to take his hands and his head.
And I'm to understand neither of you have ashes to ashes.
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. So you're going to dismantle him slightly, and on your way to your date night, Club Divisionnaire,
So romantic.
you're going to drop off the body's parts in different receptacles. And, you know, maybe if the police see it, it'll make like a smiley face or something. Get real serial killer with it. So, Imogen, do you have any dots in medicine?
No.
Okay. Then I need you to make me, Tullio, you can make sort of a wits, and since you're doing this on the fly, a wits and medicine roll to sort of dismantle this person. Imogen, you can also make this roll, but just a straight wits roll, unfortunately.
I have a really... It's a leap of a question, but I'm going to have to ask anyway. Would my specialty in surgery
Yes.
come into play here?
Absolutely it would. I mean, this isn't so much surgery as it is autopsy, but sure.
Yeah.
Well, I helped. I got one.
All right, so you can add one success to that. I need to know, for no reason, how successful this is going to be.
I'm so sorry.
Don't be sorry.
Successes.
Perfect. So you dismantle him into 7 pretty standard pieces here. You grab out of the dumpster, Imogen, some trash bags. And you start loading them into, and these trash bags have other things in them. You throw the head into one of the dumpsters. And you head back to the car with some bags. Looks like you just went shopping. But if anyone got too close, it would smell like garbage. And as you drive off to Club Divisionnaire, you can throw these into nearby. As Germany, like many other European countries, there's trash cans everywhere in an effort to keep the city clean. They even have trained ravens and pigeons to throw away cigarette butts for treats. So you can throw those out over the window into the receptacles. And you have just given the Berlin Polizei possibly a new serial killer to attempt to locate. And Club that's true. I'm sure that won't come back to you at all.
My gift to Berlin.
My gift to Berlin. Club Divisionnaire is located in Kreuzberg. It's on a tributary of River Havel, so you need to drive there away from the Mitte. So if you'd like to take a few minutes, I'll give you a few minutes to discuss this intermittently as you throw body parts into receptacles along the road.
As a sort of side note, I would like to keep the hands and the head. The hands for Adelaide and the head for myself.
That's fine.
For ceremony purposes.
That's fine.
Imogen just throwing a leg out into the trash can, just like, sorry about that.
No, it's fine. It's I apologize. It's not as clean as you're used to.
Well, like I said, I'd usually bring him to the garden, but can't do that right now.
Of course. Make do with what we have.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Of course. Thank you. It's usually it's a new experience.
I hope it was a good experience.
The way you feed is interesting, if you don't mind me saying.
All for Lilith makes things easy.
This practice I can get behind.
Killing in the name of a Dark Mother does tend to make things easy, doesn't it, Imogen?
Yes.
So, as you pull in to where you're going, Club de Visionnaire is a unique, and means Club of the Visionaries, because I need to do that for people who don't speak German. Club is a unique and eclectic bar that consists of a string of interconnected houseboats, as I said, along a tributary of Havel River, or Havelfluss, that runs through Berlin's inner city. Each houseboat is creatively designed with vibrant colors, cozy seating areas, and fairy lights adorning the decks. And the entire setup creates sort of an intimate and relaxed atmosphere, providing patrons with a one-of-a-kind Berliner experience. And as the two of you have already been here before, you had a little date night. You did notice one of the boats was more rowdy than the other, and Imogen noticed that someone's eyes may have been lingering on the two of you a little bit longer, but you never really picked them out of the crowd. You two step onto the floating wooden walkway connecting the houseboats, and you're greeted by the gentle sway of the water and the soft murmur of conversation, and you can see the panoramic view of the cityscape. But oddly, the place looks fairly empty for somewhere holding an open mic night. And you did see signs posted up around town that there would be an open mic night here. But you don't see a stage, and you don't see a microphone set up here.
That's suspect.
Interesting.
Okay.
You do see a bartender, if you'd like to ask someone what's going on.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Can I just take a look around,
Sure. You can roll me with some
Yeah.
awareness.
I'm real good at that.
Reminder of what happens if you fail it.
Yeah. 1.
That is absolutely a failed wits and awareness roll for this particular thing that you would need to be looking for. So you're going, and what's fun about those things, because that is a flaw that we homebrewed for you. Since you have failed so many wits and awareness rolls in this so far very short chronicle. Imogen, you're going to increase your hunger by 2. Something about this place feels wrong to you. Something here is wrong, and your beast is reacting to it.
I don't like this. I don't like this at all.
Do you want to leave? I can check with the bartender, see if this information could be gathered.
Sure.
Be right back. And I'll approach the bartender.
It's a young, very plain-looking man. Plain in the face, plain in the clothes. And he says, "Hello? What can I get you?"
Good Abend. There was supposed to be an open mic night here, no?
He sort of throws the towel over his arm, and he leans down. And he really, really looks at you intensely. And he says, "I don't think that you're the intended audience for this open mic night, but I'm getting the feeling that you should definitely check it out. Sometimes we spend so long looking down at our own navels that we forget it's connected to the rest of our bodies."
I am a connoisseur of poetry, slam and otherwise, so you can point me in the direction of where I might find the entrance.
He points out towards the window. It's that boat. And it is the one that Imogen noticed was the rowdiest last time.
Private party, I assume?
Something like that.
Something I should be aware of?
Too many things to count. We'd be here all night and you'd miss it.
Well, I wouldn't want that. Why don't why don't you just give me something small? A little friendly warning. And if I might use compel?
You can try.
I don't like the way you
Oh,
smile
God.
sometimes, Huddy.
Sure. Let me just pull up someone's sheet.
Yeah, the
Interesting.
demon sheet that I've homebrewed. Can you pull up the changeling? Let me pull up. This is God.
No.
Yeah, get to my compel.
On a blood search for him.
Nice.
You don't gotta do all that.
Why? I get to add 3 extra dice if I do that.
Oh my god.
Okay. We're also gonna blood search because fuck it. That is okay. We're at 2 hunger now.
Mm-hmm.
Twinning.
And why not spend willpower?
Crazy murder.
What's your roll, honey?
Let's find out together. 1, 2, 3. Do I want to spend willpower? Yeah, we're gonna do it. Didn't help. 4 successes.
9 successes. Okay. So, he smiles. And he says, that's very good of you. If you want to do those things to me younger, you should maybe do them on the boat.
Couldn't help but try. Will you be attending?
Got somewhere else to be tonight.
Well, thank you for your time. And I will depart back to Imogen.
Mm-hmm. As you depart, you suddenly realize you can't remember what he looked like. When you turn back around, he's not there.
Nice.
Wonder who that was.
Okay. When he gets back, Imogen she still looks very serious and she'll say, did he say anything?
He did. It's a private party. We're invited. He was resistant to my charm, if you catch my drift.
That's concerning.
Did you see him?
Did I see him? I was watching. No.
If you
No.
were watching, you
Yeah, I was
can't
watching.
remember now what he looks like.
Yeah. I thought I did.
So did I. It's your call. This is supposed to be a night of relaxation, some time to ourselves. You don't have to if you don't want to.
She'll think and she'll say, we're already here.
Shall we? I will hold out my arm.
And I'll take it.
So you walk through all these string of houses, about 5 houseboats that you walk through. And again, there's very few people here. They are seem to be regulars. A lot of them are older. And they're just sitting alone in their booths, drinking, not talking to anyone. And as you get to the 5th houseboat, you see that the plank goes out, straight out into the middle of the river here. So it is a little bit of a precarious walk. It's a little moist. How many dots in dexterity do you both have? Is it at least 2?
2.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's a little bit of precarious walk for both of you, and but neither of you are going to slip. I don't have to make you make a roll. 1 dexterity maybe. And you sort of hold on to each other and walk rather slow. And as you approach this houseboat, it is bright crimson red in color and has a lot of graffiti on it, more so than all of the other boats. And it is a little bit louder, not as loud as it was the night you were here and everyone was real rowdy, but you can hear a significant amount of people here. And I should note, it is also the largest houseboat of these string of houseboats. It's twice the size of the next biggest one. And as you enter, you see that lots of people are set up around small circular tables. They're having drinks. They're having pub food. And there is a stage here. You don't see a microphone, but you see a stage. Might be that they just don't have a microphone on this. And a lot of people are sitting around seemingly waiting for this open mic night to start. Maybe then someone will come and bring out a microphone. You can certainly find a booth or a table to sit down on, whichever you prefer, to wait.
Yeah, I'll find a booth, slide into it.
And the murmur of conversation is not overpoweringly loud, because Germans in general don't tend to be loud people when they talk. And they get very annoyed if you are one of those people. So, so you can certainly have your conversation and no one's really going to pay you any attention, you don't think, anyway.
What do you think so far?
I'm on edge.
I would be too after your previous outings.
I've been here before, but before we came. I hadn't experienced this. Yeah, I said that. Yeah.
I remember.
But I hadn't experienced this before. This is strange and concerning.
You've survived worse.
That's true. That's fair. I would like to have a good time.
We'll figure this out together, and then we'll continue on with our outing. Make sure it's a good night.
I'd like that. Plenty of people to watch here.
Plenty indeed. I wonder if we could, kind of looking around, flag down someone to bring us a drink or two, just for show. I'm not sure if you.
Yep, there is a Kellnerin, which is a waitress, walking around, taking people's orders. You can flag her down certainly, and she says, "Bitte schön, was möchten Sie bestellen? What would you like to order?"
Just water for now.
Sprudelwasser?
Yes.
A red wine if you have it.
Rotwein. Okay. And she leaves.
I imagine this is going to be more interesting than we anticipated. As just I want to make it very clear, we can leave whenever you like. My curiosity is piqued, but if you're uncomfortable, I don't want to force you into anything.
Appreciate that. I'd like to stay. I was looking forward to this.
Then I'm on your timetable, Imogen.
I'm curious about something.
What's that?
I'm just reminded of being here. You never told me your assessment of me.
I think I gave you a glimpse the other night.
Yeah.
Powerful. A leader. Even though if you haven't realized it yet.
Looks a little, she shifts a little. I'd like to be.
You can be and you will be. All of our coterie seems to have ambitions to lead.
Seems that way.
While you were out with Adelaide, Maria made it clear to me she wishes to lead the Rossellini family.
She told me that too, last night when we talked.
My only concern is that her ideas, her ideals, her view on the head of leadership in the family is very much akin to anarch rhetoric. She doesn't understand why there needs to be someone at the head of the table.
That's true. I've noticed that too.
That's really my only concern. I don't have any issue with her heading up the family. Just, I need her to understand that we aren't anarchs.
We're not Camarilla either.
Quite so.
I think she could grow into it.
She has a lot of growing to do.
I've learned that I do too.
Maybe. You never expanded on your conversation with Adelaide, if you don't mind me asking.
No, of course. She was very adamant in telling me that I don't owe Hannah Laurie anything. No matter what she's done for me. That we are adult kindred, can make adult kindred decisions.
I like talking to Adelaide.
Me too. It was
She's
nice.
very smart.
Very insightful.
She is. Part of me wishes Edgar would speak with her more.
Me too.
The Kellnerine, the waitress, returns with your drinks, and as she does so, you see someone come up on the stage. Intelligence and politics, please. Neither of you would know this person by look alone. But if you roll well enough, I'll let you know who they are.
Interesting. Okay. Willpower.
Mark them off.
Yes, ma'am. Perfect. 4.
What about you, Tullio?
3.
Okay. So, Tullio, you don't know who this is. Imogen, you've spent a little bit more, even though Tullio and Edgar are brothers, quote unquote, you've spent a little bit more time with Edgar than with Tullio. Than Tullio has with Edgar, rather. And you have heard him speak of his distaste for Baron Sahira. And he has given you a description of what she looks like, at least once. And this matches it pretty closely. She's very well-built woman. She has tan skin and dark hair and very intense eyes, very large eyes. And she's wearing like a halter top and very wide sort of 90s style pants as she stands up on stage, and she brings a microphone out onto the stage. And she says, "Welcome to our open mic night, humans of Berlin." And from behind the stage, several more people come out, and one of them is Ambrose Milliner. Some of them are flashing fang, some of them are disturbingly disheveled. And Baron Sahira raises her arms, and you watch the people in the first row begin spasming and writhing as she pulls blood from the pores of their body. And it spills out absolutely everywhere, all over the stage. The people around you start screaming, start yelling, and you hear the doors of the boat slam shut. What is your reaction to this in this moment?
I think I'm gonna have a dagger in my hand under the table. Immediately. And as she always does in these situations, make a threat assessment, which I think is pretty threatening right now.
I think you wouldn't have to make a roll to understand that this is a pretty threatening situation.
Yes.
What about you, Tullio?
Tullio's just reaching into his pocket, holding on to the 5 sticks of charcoal.
All right. So you watch these 4 people in the front row, front tables, be completely exsanguinated, and Baron Sahira did not have to make any contact with them to do this. Now, you, Imogen, again, as I said, you rolled the most, are aware that she is a Banu Hakim, and you are aware that they have abilities of blood sorcery. Sometimes abilities that aren't the same as the Tremere that you may or may not have met in the Camarilla, and certainly nothing like what you have or what your mother has. And as she pulls this blood out from them, you watch your cousin, Ambrose Milliner, come down off of the stage, stab his hand, and begin performing a ceremony that neither of you are familiar with. But you have to believe he's attempting to raise these dead humans.
No, absolutely not.
I ask you again, what do you do?
Name of the father.
The ability to speak Ancient Greek, put that on your sheet, because obviously I missed that ingredient. So you have the ability to speak Ancient Greek. Yeah, you studied medicine. Greek, Latin, you had to study it, fine, sure. You need eye contact with the victim. So that's the issue here. So he is right now performing some ceremony, which is raising shambling horde, and he's not looking at you. He hasn't even clocked that you're here. The other kindred, however, on the stage, are currently running down into the aisles of the people, and they are feasting on them to make more bodies.
Understood. Imogen, sorry, you said looked like you had something to say.
Oh, I was gonna try to do a big whistle to get his attention.
That is certainly something you can do.
You have to roll
I
for that,
will.
right?
You don't, but your whistle will attract the attention of everyone in this room who is currently not being eaten.
Well, if
What
it
we
gets
gotta do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the moment I have Ambrose's eyes, I'm gonna activate Name of the Father.
Sure. So, you whistle loud, and Ambrose does look up at you. And you use Name of the Father. Or you start to use it anyway. The problem is, Sahira sees you too. You may make that roll for me, since you are looking at Ambrose and catching his eye. Sahira jumps down off of the stage and comes over to you. Not close enough that she's right in contact with you, but she says, "Is there a problem?"
I was expecting poetry, song. A little disappointed.
There's plenty of poetry in the blood. Or haven't you heard?
So now you get your kicks, just slaughtering, no finesse.
She smiles broadly. Do you want to join us?
Not particularly.
Then do you want to die?
No.
Well, I'm sorry. Those are the only 2 options on the menu.
Activate prowess.
Rashek. What did you
Yes,
roll,
ma'am.
Tullio?
That is 10 successes.
10 successes.
Success.
Yes.
Notably with a messy crit.
Okay. So, you are going to increase your hunger? And would you like to explain to us how this ceremony presents itself to Ambrose? What happens to Ambrose when you do it?
The victim, as I chant ancient Greek, is paralyzed. I'm crushing I crushed the four of the charcoal sticks in my hand. I maintain eye contact with him, and I'll take a few steps if I'm not stopped by the Baron.
The Baron is standing in front of both of you.
Okay. Yeah, I'm still maintaining eye contact, kind of focused. As I crush the final stick, shadows take my eyes, and for a brief moment, they're just completely black before the shadows move from mine to his.
Mm-hmm.
And he is paralyzed as he is experiencing an all-consuming darkness that robs him of his thought, his sensation, and there is a distant echoing laughter in his mind.
All right. So you watch Ambrose stop the ceremony and fall to his knees, and the rest of the quote-unquote anarchs notice this too, and they all turn your attention towards you. And Saheera looks at you, Imogen, and I need a composure and intelligence roll, please.
Yes, ma'am.
To make a rouse check for her as well.
Your intelligence. I'm gonna rouse blood for the scene.
Go for it.
Success. Yes. Okay, 2 days. Intelligence, composure.
As I said, something might happen in this session that will affect session 6 moving forward.
For your knowledge, Huddy,
Mm-hmm. I love knowledge.
he's paralyzed for the number of turns equal to the margin between our rolls. So 10 compared to whatever he rolled.
4.
Are you fucking serious? Willpower.
Mark it off.
Yes, ma'am. Good lord.
Sorry, more information. I don't need to keep chanting or anything like that. It's just so long as I'm in his presence.
Correct.
Okay. 4 successes.
She rolled. And she has no hunger dice. I can't. Not with the blinking. Doesn't work. She rolled 4, 5, 6, 7 successes.
Mm-hmm.
So, what she's going to do is she has a Banu Hakim with not just celerity, obfuscate, and blood sorcery. She also has dominate.
Mm-hmm.
And she's going to use a power on you that you would be completely unfamiliar with. It's called dementation. And she looks at you and she says, "Kill him." And how this power works is not commanding you to do something. Rather, what it does is it causes you to go into a madness. So she doesn't indicate to anybody who you should kill. She just says, "Kill him. Start killing." And you feel this overwhelming urge to start murdering. And I will make a roll to see if you attack Tullio, attack her, or attack the nearest human. You unfortunately attack Tullio.
Okay.
So, Tullio, as you have finished your chanting and stopped Ambrose from raising these dead, you turn to see Imogen leaping on top of you to attack you. Now, here's your option. She's activated prowess, so she's going to be real strong. You can attempt to fight her off. You can attempt to escape with her. Or you can attempt to attack Saheera to force her to check this dementation.
I think he's going to give a shot and try to attack Saheera.
All right. So Imogen, strength and brawl. Tullio, how are you attacking Saheera?
Well, I know my bite is painful as hell, so I think I'm going to do the bite, and I think that's like a little bit of a lesser pool,
Sure.
but we got to risk it for the biscuit.
Sure.
Mhm.
I'm reminding you again, as I already said, she's a Banu Hakim, so she has celerity. So there's a pretty good chance that she has something called rapid reflexes. Would you still
None.
like to proceed? Wonderful. Would you still like to proceed with that?
No. We're going to attempt to knowing all that, I'm going to switch it up, and
Mhm.
we're going to try to pull Imogen out.
If I may make a suggestion, you could certainly drop the voice of, what's it called? Voice of the Father? Sorry. You certainly drop that on Ambrose and use it on her.
I would need more charcoal.
I would allow that you would keep more than just... I would allow that you keep a bag of it, that you go to the I can't think of the name. That you would go to some sort of craft store. I'm sure there's some craft store here in Germany that I just don't know the name of. And a Globus. There we go. And then you have a whole baggie on you.
Yeah. We'll do that.
Go for that. Imogen, you attempt to attack Tullio with 0 successes, and you swing wide. Your mind, you've never felt like this. You are calm, cool, stoic, collected 99% of the time. But you feel absolutely wild, feral, mad, and all of your athletic and combat training has fallen away, and you are just at your most basic feral instinct at this moment. And you jump at Tullio, you go wide, you crash into one of the tables instead. It's very undignified.
Love that.
Yeah. Her willpower isn't that great, actually. No, it's not that super great.
Can't be good at everything.
No, it's not that super great. She's, if you can't tell, she doesn't have a whole lot of composure and resolve. 3 successes.
6 successes.
All right. So you drop it on Ambrose and you use it on Sahira. And you watch her become totally paralyzed, staring at you. She doesn't fall to her knees. She seems to stare back at you and curl those lips into a smile. And just before your ceremony takes hold of her, she says to you, "Berlin is mine." And Imogen, the dementation drops. It fails. And you can pick yourself up off of this broken table. But the rest of the Sabbat and now Ambrose have seen what you've done to Sahira, and they're charging at you.
Can we... No, the doors are shut.
The doors are shut, but there are windows everywhere. But you'd be jumping into the river.
Can you swim?
We can swim. She's paralyzed for 3 turns.
She's paralyzed until you leave her presence. So if you swim, fast.
Yeah, we could put
You don't have to breathe either, so you can go underwater.
Perfect.
My point being, she's paralyzed for 3 turns as long as I'm in her presence.
Mm-hmm.
We could fucking stake her and then run.
All right, you have about 6 Kindred, including Ambrose, coming at you.
Yeah.
Staking her, they will just remove it. That won't kill her.
In Imogen's mind, she's in protection mode, so she's about to pick you up and throw you out the window.
Which she could.
Yeah, I am not strong enough to resist that.
If you wanted, I mean, Imogen broke a table. If you want to pick up the table leg and stake her just to add insult to injury, that's fine. But that will remove time from you getting away.
I believe Imogen, it's your turn. It's your call.
We're not on turns here. I just want to know what everybody's doing. These things are happening all rapid fire.
We need to go. And she's gonna go over to Tullio, grab his arm, and break the window.
Mm-hmm.
And fucking leave.
Yep. You want to break the window? Either strength and athletics or strength and composure.
It's the same roll. Okay, well, hopefully that's not a failure. This 2.
Add your dots and prowess.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
3 successes.
3 successes. You're able to get out the window, to break the window. You watch Imogen get up from that table. Whatever Sahira did to her, you're not aware. But you watch her get up from that table and say, "We gotta go." Grab onto your arm and force you to run towards the nearest window. And she leaps out of it pretty dexterously and pretty accurately. Breaks right through it like something out of a stunt in a movie. And both of you go splash into the water. Now, you're in the middle of this tributary. You're not where the walkway was. So, I need both of you to make either strength and athletics. Excuse me. I need both of you to make stamina and athletics rolls to get through this river in quick enough time to get away from anyone who might follow you. I will make a general roll to see if any of them are quick enough to follow you.
Okay.
They rolled really, 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 really well, unfortunately.
I'm rolling like
On 4 dice, they rolled really well.
Yeah, I'm gonna willpower them. 3 with a possible bestial failure.
All right.
That's a 6 with a messy crit.
All right. So you're going to increase your hunger one more time. So back to 3 hunger.
Up to 4, I believe.
Up to 4 hunger. At this point, you're absolutely positively starving. And you hear as you dive under the water, just as you dive under the water and start swimming, you're swimming pretty quickly. You want to get out of here. Your beast is urging you to get out, that this is a fight that you cannot win. You're outnumbered and outgunned. Because as you dive under the water, you hear several pops go off. Someone from the boat is shooting at you. And Imogen, they're going to hit you. 2 points of superficial damage. You have resilience, is that correct? Yeah. Okay, should already be passively added to your health track. You add your fortitude to your health track passively. That's how that works.
Gotcha.
But you don't have toughness or anything like that, right?
Mm-mm.
Okay. So you're going to take 2 points of superficial damage as one hits you in the shoulder. And you smell her blood in the water, Tullio, like a shark. Hunger. Frenzy check, please. That is your unspent willpower. Plus 2 dots for your humanity. I saw how much willpower you guys were spending.
That's 3 successes.
Barely enough. Barely enough. It is so difficult, Tullio. You stop dead in your swim underwater as soon as you smell Imogen's blood. Blood just like yours. Blood of La Familia. Floating in the water. But you can resist for the moment as both of you make it to the to a small stone landing where you can climb up these small steps to get away from the boat. And Imogen, if you would like to risk the hunger, you may heal yourself.
Oh yeah, sure. I only have 2.
You're sopping, soaking wet though. And the river Havel doesn't smell that great. This is not the river that runs much cleaner around Peacock Island, where you've been. This is the tributary that runs through the city. So it's susceptible to things like trash and some sewage and some gross stuff.
Success on my rouse check.
So you healed both of your superficial damage?
Yes.
Excellent. And now you have a moment to collect yourselves as you hurry yourselves back to the car.
Well done.
We should have left. We should have fucking left. I knew we should have left.
I will take your counsel into account next time.
It's not your fault. It's mine.
Takes 2 to tango, Imogen. We're fine. It's can't bear the weight of every failure.
Let's go, please.
Move.
Both of you can easily get back to the car, and as you do, you hear sounds of screaming in the distance coming from where you just came from. People being murdered on that boat, their bodies being used to turn into a shambling horde. Someone of your bloodline is doing this, who has joined up with these supposed anarchs. These anarchs who believe that Berlin belongs to them. I need to know, do either of you text any members of your coterie about these events?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Who do you text, Imogen?
The group chat.
You text the group chat so everyone will know.
Yes.
What about you, Tullio?
I will text Adelaide 3 skull emojis, which is our little symbol for emergency.
All right. As you drive in the car and you send your group chat text, Imogen, you get a text message from Hannah Laurie. And it says, "I hope you are well, my daughter. You are always welcome to come home."
I'll look at it, add it to add to the list of things that are already making me feel bad, and not respond yet.
Sure. If there's anything you'd like to discuss as you drive back to the Mitte, now is the time to do it.
Are you alright?
I'm fine. That hurt, but it's okay. Are you okay?
Alright, just a bit, peckish.
Should we do something about that?
Eventually, yes. I'll take care of it later.
If you say so. You could show me how you feed. Get our minds off of this.
I have to apologize. This wasn't supposed to be an adventurous night.
It's okay. My instincts told me that we should have left and gone to do something else, but I wanted to have a good time. It's not your fault.
Whatever. Planning around you is so difficult.
What do you mean?
Every plan, every time I have an idea for you, it's shattered almost immediately.
Well, the night that went unplanned, or that was unplanned, went well.
Hannah interrupted.
Is the most successful.
Most successful.
You could just take the rest of the night in. Not really in a position, in a presentable state anymore.
We just got you that dress.
Yeah.
A night in. Let's do that.
And you certainly can. And on the way, you can stop to the hospital, where you have had a card manufactured so that you can always get into the hospital, head into the ward where they keep the people who are terminally ill, and you can perform your quote-unquote service for one of them. And we will say that that is something you have done, and you may remove your hunger down to 0. So you spend your night in with Imogen, perhaps thinking of what has just occurred and how perhaps monumental the task might be at hand of uniting the family if they are so easily swayed by the actions of a radical. And that is where we're going to pause or stop this scene for Mirror of the Heart. Hello, everyone. We're back. We've moved our scene now over to Maria. And would you like to introduce yourself and who you're playing? I already said Maria, but go ahead and introduce yourself anyway.
Sure. Hi, everybody. I am Rachel, otherwise known as Azure, and I am playing Maria Russellini, the Mistress of Ghosts, and I'm excited.
Yes. So as we pan away from the soaking wet Kindred, who had just jumped out of the Club Divisionnaire into the River Havel, we joined with Maria in the same part of town, same part of Berlin, in Kreuzberg, just nowhere near Tullio and Imogen are.
I don't hear any explosions.
No, you don't hear anything. You don't hear any gunshots or screaming. You're right now up on the upper levels of the tram, where the tram actually runs over the city as opposed to the trams running on the actual ground. And Katlin, likes to come up here sometimes, and she likes to do graffiti, and she likes it because it's thrilling and it's dangerous, and that's sort of her whole vibe. So as you clamber up there, we're going to do some rolls. And I'm not going to make Katlin do these rolls because Katlin is going to make it up there. I decided as storyteller. So, but for you, it's a little bit more difficult. So firstly, I need a Dex Athletics roll to clamber up there.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, so it's Dex, 1 hunger, Dex athletics. Oh! Maria has nothing in athletics, so I would like to blood buff my physical, if that's okay.
Yes, you can blood buff. Sorry, yeah, you can blood buff anything.
Yeah. Gonna do that. I need to roll a rouse check for that, correct?
Mm-hmm.
I would like it to be known the first time that I've successfully rolled a rouse check on camera.
This is the second time. I keep track of all that. Yeah, the second time. You're good. You're good.
All right, so now it gives me 4 dice.
All right.
Total, I think.
There you go. See how good you do.
Ooh. This is a messy critical. 1 critical success on normal dice, 1 critical success on the red dice.
Okay,
And that's
so
it.
you're going to increase your hunger to hunger 2, even though you roll a successful rouse check. Sorry, that's just the way it goes. But you are going to successfully clamber up right behind Katlin. She's quick, she's fast, she's wearing her, not her heavy combat boots, she's wearing her light combat boots because she doesn't want to be weighed down clambering up here. And she's got 2 graffiti cans stuffed into her back pocket of her jeans. And I assume you have 1 or 2 in your leather jacket.
Oh yeah, I'm a pack mule for this.
Yeah. So you clamber up there, you climb up the stairs as close as you can get, and then you actually sidestep very carefully. There is the tracks, and then there is a very thin metal grate that's next to the wall. And you know that when the tram comes through, you have to press your body up against the wall as flat as possible, or you're going to get hit by the tram. And that's part of the fun. That's part of what Katlin likes about this. And this wall is very graffitied. People do this a lot. So as you do this, and she's like, what are you going to do? I already have so many ideas. I was thinking about some all last night. What are you going to do?
Oh my goodness. Honestly, I was just going to go with the vibe. I was just going to see what inspired me in the second.
I like to plan it out.
Yeah, that makes sense. You're the better artist of us anyways.
And with 3 successes, she pulls out the spray can. It's a green spray can. And she starts making what looks like an eye. And in the other one, she has a white one. And she's like, and you have the black, right? You brought the black on with you?
Yes. Here.
And so she's I don't need it now, but I need it later. And she starts making out an eye. Now, what would you like to draw, Maria?
Oh boy, wasn't expecting that. Now,
Draw anything you want.
Draw anything that I want.
Or graffiti, anything you want, however you like to put it.
I want to graffiti the cigarette case.
Oh, sure.
And attempt to have out of that cigarette case a very cartoony looking ghost with the vague features of Giancarlo.
All right. Well, that is a lot to do. So I hope you have dots in performance or craft, one or the other.
Don't.
Craft or performance?
Performance is no, craft is no. So
okay, so you can so you're gonna make me a resolve, just a straight resolve roll.
Thank God that's 4 initially.
You're also blood buffed, and it's not V20, so we don't blood buff a certain attribute. When you blood buff all the attributes.
Okay, so my resolve is 4, so I should have 6 dice, right?
Correct. Plus 2 dice for your hunger. Your hunger increased.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it's there. 1, 2. So, 3 successes, and a skull on the red dice.
Okay, that's fine. 3 successes is what I was looking for. It's what Katlin rolled for hers.
Okay.
So both of you start working on this, and as you are both graffitiing, do you have Giancarlo Puglinesco with you?
Well, he was on Katlin.
I'm asking, did you bring him on this date?
Sure.
Okay, so he pops out of your cigarette case and looks at it. Is that supposed to be me? Is that supposed to be me? Are you serious?
Yes, of course I am. Why wouldn't I be? I'm always serious.
This is so fucking dumb. Why are you doing this?
Why not? Shut up. Get back into the cigarette case. You're here on guard duty, if anything.
Well, how am I supposed to guard you if I'm in the cigarette case?
Fine, just go fuck off. It's okay.
I can't go that far.
go as far as you feasibly can, and look around. Make sure we're safe. Watch out for the tram.
I can't keep you safe from a fucking tram if you're up here where the fucking trams are.
Just scream at us when the tram's coming. It's fine. It's fine.
It's fucking stupid. And he sort of shoves his hands into the pockets of the suit that looks like he's wearing, his corpus. It's not obviously not a real suit. Just what his what his corpus manifests. And as you're both graffitiing this, Katlin says, so you were kind of like down when you came back from the Bahari parties the other night. So, and I didn't want to ask because like I think the Bahari are really, really weird. And I think they're kind of like gross with their orgies and stuff. So like, I didn't want to ask, but I feel like I need to ask.
A lot happened. A lot happened. It wasn't as... The party itself was fine, was interesting, but... You know how when I do what I need to do, there's a sacrifice that's involved?
Yeah.
There was something similar that happened. I don't want to go into too much detail on it, but it really, it affected the others. It affected Imogen and Eddie, and I didn't like that. I was more or less okay with what happened on the whole.
So you were sad for them, not for what happened to whoever.
Pretty much. Yeah. I mean, I didn't even know like what the actual plan was for that ritual anyhow, so it's not like I had any knowledge on like their intent. I was just told to do something on there, and Imogen asked me if I would, and I said yeah. So there's
do you really think it was worth it to join the Bahari just so you could get your phone when we were in confinement?
It's
because I told you I thought it was stupid back then.
I know, but admittedly it's a little bit more than that. It's a little bit more than that, Katlin. It's not just about the phone.
Well, then what? Do you really believe that there's some goddess out there that tells people, whatever? I don't even know what they believe, not really.
Honestly, I don't know, but I wanted to find out.
Oh, do you have to join to find out? Don't they have like a pamphlet or something?
You know me. It's gotta be. I gotta find out by doing. I gotta experience it. I gotta. What's the word? Not bathe. I gotta bask in it for a bit and see.
I guess I understand that. And as she says that, you hear the tram starting to come. Dex Athletics.
Oh boy!
And you hear Giancarlo say, "Hey idiots, the tram's coming."
Please don't let me get hit by the fucking tram.
Well, that's part of the.
Could you imagine that's how I went there?
That's part of the fun. Ooh, Katlin rolled really good. Katlin's very well experienced with this.
3 successes.
Yeah, Katlin rolled 5 successes.
Oh, damn.
So both of you, are making sure not to lay on your own work, right?
Mm-hmm.
You both sort of, like in a movie or a cartoon, you both sort of press yourselves up against the wall as this big, fast-moving yellow tram whizzes by you, and the air hits you in the face, and Katlin screams at the top of her lungs. She loves the adrenaline. She thinks it's the best. And the moment sort of overtakes her, and as soon as the tram moves past, she rolls over on top of you and gives you a kiss and says, "This is what your unlife, and my whatever life should be. Fun every night like this."
Maria's kind of... I would say that in the moment that she would also like scream a little bit in excitement and a little bit of fear, not running away from that one. And she would definitely kiss back in that moment, and then just fun's always got to be part of the deal. It's a necessity, but we got to fight for it too. But not everything. Not everything is always going to be fun. You know that, right?
No. Why not?
I've told you. Tell me, what do you think Mama has me doing? What do you think I
don't know. What does she have you doing?
There's always going to be a cost for something, for the fun that we have, for the freedom that we have with this. And you know something I've been thinking a lot more about recently?
Katlin doesn't really seem like she understands this aspect that you're coming from, because for Katlin, her life is all fun and games.
You enjoy being around me. You enjoy what we do. You enjoy
Of course I do, but I'm not stupid, Maria. I know that half of the enjoyment comes because I drink your blood. I know that. I was born to Gould parents.
That's never bothered you?
No. Because the benefit is essentially eternal life without having to deal with all of the bullshit that you're talking right now.
What happens when I'm gone? What happens?
Why do you think that I would want to live if you were gone?
I'd want you to live.
You don't get to make that choice. My life belongs to me. And as long as you're around, I'm okay sharing my agency with you. But if you're not around, then why would I want to live?
There's bloody tears pooling at the corners of her eyes.
Maria, don't. You know how I feel about crying. I'm German. Don't cry. Come.
Sorry.
It's just.
What did I do to deserve you?
It's just the truth. And, you know, I grew up here in Germany. I know my parents are from Scotland, but I grew up here in Germany, and that is how we are. We say what we mean, and we mean what we say.
I love that about you. I love that about you so much. And she's going to wrap her arms around Katlin and pull her into another kiss, a deeper one this time. And then she's going to press her forehead against Katlin, and she's going to say, but you don't have to answer. You don't have to. But give it more thought about what's going to happen after me. Just for me. Even if you don't fully believe it, just for my sake, think about it.
Okay, I can certainly give you that sense of false promise or whatever. But I've thought about it. I've been around for quite a while now. I've thought about it all. And I don't want to be what you are and deal with this bullshit. These thoughts that you get. All of a sudden, random thoughts like this. I don't want that. I don't want that ever.
Maybe you're right. But I am. This is supposed to be happy, fun. This is supposed to be joyous, and I'm making it fucking emotional.
No, I have no. I have a good idea. No, we'll change up the vibe. We'll change up the vibe. And you finish your graffiti and drawn your little cartoon ghost, and she's drawn her green eye to match her green eye. And so you clamber down from the tram down to the actual tram where you can hop on. Because where it comes up here is not a place where you can actually ansteigen, aussteigen, get in and on. I can't think of the English word. What is the word for when you get on a train? Is there an English word for that? Board.
No,
board a train where you can board.
Oh yeah, I mean, boarding is for like everything though too. At the same time,
Okay.
like boarding a train, boarding a boat,
Getting
boarding,
all English words. No, for German is a different word for all those things. Anyway.
Hey, to be fair, I forgot too for a second. I was like, no.
So you get down to where you can actually get onto the tram.
Mhm.
And of course you live in Berlin. Katlin has a Jahreskarte, yearly card, so you can travel the trams and the buses and everything else. And you
What is
get
it called?
Jahreskarte, yearly card.
Oh, gotcha.
And she's like, come on. When we were together, with the other girls, the other night when you guys were all at the party or whatever, we were talking about going to the old Giovanni mansion, and everyone was too scared because I wanted to go, but I didn't want to go alone because it's not because I'm scared, but because it's boring. But you're with me, so let's go.
There's a look of concern that kind of just hits her for a second, but then she's just like, fuck it, let's do it.
Let's go.
That sounds exciting. Oh, I wonder if I can find any fetters there.
Maybe.
Oh my god.
That'd be super cool.
Oh.
So
Yeah.
you get in the tram and you drive down. And it is also in Kreuzberg, so it's not far from where you are. And you get out at the stop here in Kreuzberg. And as you get out of the stop, you are sort of thinking in your head, as Katlin is sort of just like super excited, and she's just talking about like how she doesn't know anything about Seneca Giovanni, but she just knows about the mansion. She's heard her dad talk about it before. And you're trying to rack your brain of what you know about Seneca Giovanni, because when Seneca Giovanni met final death, you were maybe a couple of nights old, if that. That it might have happened just before you were embraced. It's hard to remember the dates, right? So you never knew him, and you didn't really know anything about it. Really, by the time you came up, the Hecata had already formed. So life before the Hecata, you don't really have that much experience with. So you want to roll me intelligence and politics. We'll find out how much you know about Seneca Giovanni.
I have okay dots in this, so 1, 2, 5 successes.
Okay. So what you know about Seneca Giovanni really comes from your mother, Minerva Rossellini, who would have been under the quote-unquote control of Seneca Giovanni during her time here in Berlin. Most of the bloodlines that are here in the Hecata were under the control. They were offshoots of the Giovanni. The Giovanni took these families, the Pisonobes, the Milliners, the Duncern, and embraced them and made them what they called doppia sangue, double-blooded. Unico sangue was just for the Giovanni. They kept their bloodline very pure in the grossest way that you can imagine. But they brought in other families and gave them some of their blood, embraced them, and said, now you're your own family and your own bloodline, but we're your parent bloodline. You do what we say. You can do this stuff, but we're in charge. And that was how the structure was run for roughly 1,000 years of Giovanni rule. So what Minerva would have told you about Seneca Giovanni is that he ruled Berlin with an iron fist. Every single member of the family would adhere to him, whatever he wanted, whatever he said. He was very paranoid and not super great guy. And she would have told you that what brought the Kindred of Berlin together is when he met final death at the hands of Ilsa Asher. Ilsa Asher beheaded him herself, and she keeps currently his head, somehow his kindred head, preserved in a vitrine in her haven. And that is the extent of what... when the Hecata formed, then all the bloodlines sort of got a lot more autonomy. Yes, they have a head, which of course currently is Livia Duncern, but the rest of the Hecata have a lot more autonomy than they ever did under Seneca Giovanni.
Interesting. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Heard.
All right. So as you approach the manor, and it's in a part of Kreuzberg that's in the process of being gentrified. So you think that this mansion might be getting torn down, or maybe not. It seems all the buildings around it are being gentrified, but nothing's touched this one. So maybe someone in the Hecata owns it and is keeping it this way. The mansion's exterior was once adorned with intricate architectural details and now bears the scars of its decay. Weathered columns and faded facade hint at the opulence that once characterized this building, but now it has broken windows and peeling paint and just gives you this overall sense of abandonment. And as you approach, the creaking sound of the front door greets you because it's hanging loosely on its hinges, and it groans eerily as it sways with the night breeze. There's a pervasive sense of silence in this area, and it's only interrupted by the occasional rustle of leaves or the howl of the wind. And Katlin is like super excited, and she doesn't waste any time. She runs right over to the broken door and just pushes the door that's hanging on the hinges and just pushes it, and you hear it crack, the wood crack, and just fall flat into the interior.
Maria is just going to watch that happen, lighting a cigarette really quick, and she's just going to say, that's a woman that can keep my dead heart beating.
She pulls out a little magnet light from her belt so that she can see. And you also don't have Oblivion sight, so you can't see in the dark that well either. Excuse me. Yes,
I guess Oblivion sight would have been a good choice in that moment. But yeah.
And as she shines this light around the room, this mansion looks like the first idea that you get is that it's frozen in time. There's dust-covered furniture, tattered curtains, shattered remnants of what was once an elegant interior, right? Broken chandeliers, things of that nature. And nature has also begun to reclaim this territory. There's vines that are creeping in through the broken windows and growing on the inside of the house and down onto the floorboards. And the air is very thick with this musty scent of decay. And every time you take a step on this floor, it creaks, and it's almost like it's whispering to you tales of its former glory. And Katlin is just looking at everything, blowing dust off of things, and she's like, isn't this so cool? I mean, could you imagine what it must have been like to live here and not in, like, it's a shop?
Yeah, no kidding. It's huge.
It's
so what does
massive. I mean,
what does it say about me that
I would say it's bigger than Olivia's house.
Oh my god. Like she even deserves that size. Oh man. Maria's gonna take another drag of her cigarette and she's gonna say, what does it say about me that places like this, the decay, the age, there's a beauty to it that grounds me? Is that stereotypical?
I mean, totally stereotypical, but it's also totally accurate. I love it. I think it's amazing.
Maybe we can move here one day.
Do you really think so? Or are you joking? Are you being serious?
Hey, you fucking kidding me? I would love to live in a place like this.
Text Eddie right now and tell him that he needs to buy you the Seneca mansion. No, I'm serious. Do it.
Yeah, fuck it. She'll put her cigarette in her mouth, put a cell phone, text Eddie, buy me the mansion. Buy me Seneca Giovanni's mansion, please.
And I need to put that in the chat, so give me 1 second.
Oh, man. Oh. We can fix this up a little bit. Maybe not completely. I feel like we should keep some of, like, that decay chic, if you will. Oh.
As Katlin starts exploring the other rooms, would you like to look for any fetters?
Oh, 100%.
Make me that roll.
That is Oblivion and... Oh, I need to pull out my cheat sheet so I actually have all the stuff in front of me. Sorry. I love how I can just type into my browser Maria and it's the first thing that shows up.
Excellent.
Binding fetter. Wits and Oblivion. It's 4, 7.
7. That's a ton of successes. So that's a ton of successes, and you're like, oh, gotta find a fetter. So you start really, really looking through all of the things here in this house. You don't see anything else. It's picking up your senses. It's very, very frustrating. But there's something in the back of your mind that says, well, this was Seneca Giovanni's place, right? And I'm sure it's been picked over he died a couple of decades ago. I'm sure that members of your family have come here at one point or another and picked through this already. You're way late to the game. But as you start looking through some of the photos and stuff, you come across a photo of someone you immediately recognize. It's a picture of Hannelore Lamia. It's a very old photo. It looks like it's like one of those photos where you had to sit for a very, very long time for the picture to be taken. It's sort of like in sepia tone. And she looks exactly the way she does now. And she's sitting. And on her lap is a very, very small toddler. And standing next to her looks like a young Osric Dunsern.
Huh. Just take that photo, do the on it, and hey, Katlin, what do you make of this?
And she looks at it.
Check this out.
Shit! You think Hannelore was a Giovanni?
I mean,
she had a kid.
Maybe
she had a son.
This is oh my. I gotta show Imogen this. I gotta show Edgar. I gotta show everybody this.
Katlin looks up from where you were looking, and she pulls out another picture. This one is a little smaller and slightly more modern, but you can tell still from the general same time period. And it's a picture of a man and two women. They all look very similar, and you'll recognize two of the people in this picture. One of them, again, is that same man who's standing in the picture with Hannelore. It's Osric Dunsern. And one of them looks like a young Olivia Dunsern. You don't know who the third woman is, though. You've never seen her before. And Katlin turns the photo around, and in the back of the photo, it has their names. Valentino, Francesca, and Isabella.
Wait, Katlin, let me see that. And she's gonna take the photo, kind of just like feel it in her hands. She's gonna bring it closer. She's studying how close to Olivia does that look?
You can tell that it's a young Olivia. Olivia now and Osric now look to be in their late 50s to 60s, give or take, right? It's hard to tell human ages after a while. These look like young versions of themselves. Very young, early 20s at most.
Still gotta get Ida's fetter, but fucking hell, this is... Wait a second, that means...
Does that means
Olivia's a Giovanni?
Does that means Ida was a Giovanni? Whoops.
How many fucking Giovanni are there?
Not
Jesus
that many. She's not Giovanni anymore. She's Dunsern now.
Yeah, it's just semantics. That's very true. But still, like, I knew she wasn't. We knew she wasn't a Dunsern at this point.
You knew she wasn't born a Dunsern like Edgar was.
Wasn't born a Dunsern, yeah.
But that also means Osric wasn't born one either. That means Hannelore wasn't born a Lamia.
Oh, this is big. This is
But
who's the
third woman? Isabella.
I don't know. She's gonna study that one a little bit closer now.
Don't know who it is, but the name Isabella, of course you know. Olivia named her daughter Isabella.
Yeah, that's. I mean, the face. I don't know. It's not. But Isabella, that's the same name as Olivia's daughter. That's
Bella.
Yeah, I gotta bring this up to the coterie. I gotta bring this up to them,
and that's when you hear this horrific shriek from deeper into the mansion. Inhuman shriek.
You heard that too, right?
Holy shit! We gotta go see what that is.
Stay behind me though. Yeah, let's do this.
So you walk further with Katlin into the mansion. She's holding the mag light over your shoulder. She stands behind you. And as you go further, you come to basement stairs.
Okay. Looking down, anything
You don't have sense the unseen doesn't show you anything, and you don't have oblivion sight.
Katlin, hand me the light.
She hands it to you.
And she's gonna hold it with one hand and then carefully make her way down.
Katlin is right behind you.
Chasing this excitement.
You hear the sound of metal scraping against cement. The sound of someone mumbling, talking, not really talking, but making noises. And Katlin says, "What the fuck is that?"
I don't know, but she's gonna... Actually, do you think... She's gonna whisper this. I don't want to whisper it and make it miss.
Don't want to speak in hushed tones.
I don't want to speak in
whisper in hushed tones.
I whisper in
hushed tones.
She's gonna... Because I know wraiths can move stuff around, but this doesn't... Does this feel like a wraith?
No way for you to tell without seeing it. And since the unseen isn't showing you anything.
But nothing is in sight just yet.
Not to your eyes, not yet.
Be quiet. Be soft. You know how it usually is. Think of it like we're hiding from the cops.
Katlin stifles a laugh.
And then we're going to very carefully, very quietly attempt to just go down. Yeah.
Would you like to make me a stealth roll? A dexterity and stealth. This is not something. This is not something Katlin's good in. She has only 3 dice for this roll, which is just her dexterity. She has no dex and stealth, no dots and stealth. But she rolled 2 successes. So, sorry, how many?
3.
3. Wonderful. So you're semi-quiet, but not that quiet. As you head down to the very last step, it lets out this massive creak noise, and you hear the chains suddenly, or the sound of metal suddenly, smack against the ground, and something starts running at you. You hear a shuffling running at you, and as you hold the flashlight up, what you see is a monster. It's grotesque, pure white, eyes pure white, hair stringy, falling out in many places, fangs unbelievably long, appendages all mottled and twisted, and it lunges for you. Dex athletics to get out, back up the stairs.
Yeah.
Katlin's much better. Why don't I just drop all my dice? Katlin's much better at this.
1 success.
Shit. Well,
Maria's
Katlin rolled 2 crits, so for 8 successes. She's much better at this. So, yeah, she's an athletic girly. So,
you know what? I love that for her.
I'd love that for you too, because as you go, holy shit, and are almost paralyzed by what the fuck you're looking at.
I figure Maria tried to like push herself like in front of
instead
Katlin
of like doing the smart thing of like turning around and running, is you sort of just like tried to back up. So Katlin grabs you by the collar and starts dragging you up, and you're able to catch up with your own feet, but she starts dragging you up the stairs. And both of you flee through the mansion, and the monster, whatever it is still coming for you. You hear sound of metal behind it. You think maybe it's chained up somewhere, but these chains are long. So you continue running, and you get out to the exterior of the mansion. And as both of you get there and don't just like stop at the door, but like continue going till you get to the street side and you turn around, I will let you make 1 wits and awareness roll to maybe see something before this monster recedes back into Seneca Mansion.
I had to find where awareness was. I need to keep remembering that it's not alphabetically sorted.
Mm-hmm.
I got a crit. Well, yeah. So the crit is on 2 dice. Does that count as 2? 4? 4.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 4, 5. That's 6 successes then.
This creature, and you have the pictures with you. This creature, you swear to God, has the same eyes as that woman in the photo. Isabella.
No fucking way. Katlin, I think where the fuck that was might have been Isabella. Well, the Isabella from the photo, of course, not.
This is really what you want to happen to me someday.
Fuck, no, I didn't know. I didn't know that could happen to me, did I? Like that?
Unlikely.
I mean, I know when I get hungry, I kind of look icky, but...
Fuck that.
Kat,
I'd rather
Katlin.
live as long as I can as a ghoul and then just fucking fade away like fucking rock star.
You are my heart, Katlin. You are my soul.
And I will be as long as you're around. But if you start doing stupid shit like playing politics and get yourself chained up in a basement until you turn into one of the fucks that is, then we aren't going to be having much fun for long.
I might be about to do something a little more stupid than that, Katlin, but you trust me. You trust me.
I really don't have a choice. But we should get away from the mansion. Maybe we don't hang out here in case it breaks its chains.
Fighting the desire to go investigate more because I want more. Did I see how far the chains went? Is it literally just to the door? Okay, I don't know. Katlin, you have Giancarlo's cigarette case on you still. Yes.
You have it.
Oh.
You're not going back in there. No. Absolutely not.
I'm not going to go in, but I want to see if I want to see what I can see. If that makes sense. So here, take Giancarlo's. Actually, you know what? Giancarlo, get out here.
He does. And now that you have Sense the Unseen activated, Giancarlo is half covered in shadow. Just almost like that one you saw on Peacock Island.
Huh. You feeling okay, Giancarlo?
Yeah, I feel fine.
Do I believe him?
It's up to you if you believe him or not.
Good. Can insight check?
You can roll it.
4 successes.
He doesn't seem to be lying.
Okay. One thing at a time. There's a creature in one of us in there, very disheveled, very.
Yeah, it's called a
Have you-
white.
A white. Does that name ring any bells to me, Storyteller? No. Okay.
It's what happens when we ain't connected to our humanity no more. Or what happens to you, what used to happen to me, right?
Is there any coming back from that?
No. This is, you know that beast that you have inside you that all of us had inside us, have inside us, whatever?
Is that it on the outside?
On a permanent basis.
Fuck.
And
Yeah.
they only have one thing on their mind. Blood.
Have you ever been here before?
The
old
Seneca
Giovanni
Mansion, yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
times. Back when Seneca was in charge.
Did you know Isabella?
I know Isabella, Olivia's daughter. I don't think Seneca had any kids, as far as I know. But I wasn't that old when I died.
Found a photo with the name Isabella on it with a face I didn't recognize until I saw that white.
Sounds like something you should talk to the living about.
Yeah.
Or unliving. Restless Dead can't really help you here.
Right. Okay.
But, hey, we find Ida's Feta. Maybe you can ask her.
I might even know where that is now. So, see how that goes. Yeah. Okay, back in the cigarette case. I think I learned enough. Here. Yeah, let's... Woo! That was fun, no?
I need a
Right?
drink. I know you can't drink, but you can come with me and you can watch me do like 6 shots, because I feel like I need 6 shots after that. It was so fucking awesome.
Yeah. Oh.
Jaeger bombs. You do Jaeger shots.
Jaeger bombs. Yes, please. Yes, please.
So Katlin grabs
honestly.
onto your hand and says, and I'll think of
take
even,
it.
I'll think the next states that we do, I'll think of even something better than this. I'll think of some, you know me. I'll think of something.
You're the brains behind the operation, my love.
That's right. Yeah. So as the two of you leave away from Seneca Mansion, and you have some photos that you need to show your coterie at some point, that is where we're going to end Maria's scene in Mirror of the Heart this evening. Hello, everyone. We move our scene now to Edgar. And would you like to tell us who you are this evening, besides Edgar?
Sure. Hi, everybody. I'm Avery. I'm at GoldenGwydion on all the social media platforms. You can catch me right here on the Rolling Nomads in Witcher Ways of Old as Lloyd Bowen, the Bard. You can always catch me in all 10 episodes on our YouTube channel, being the storyteller for the wonderful Huddy right here in Transylvania Seconds.
Where we don't
yeah.
flirt with each other in that either. That doesn't happen in that either.
No, why would we ever do such a thing?
Yes. So this particular scene is going to be taking place far outside of the city of Berlin, unlike the rest of them, but still taking place in the same time frame. Would you like to tell us where we are and what city we're in?
Sure. I think at the moment we are driving through the east end of Glasgow.
Well, what type of rental car did Edgar have meet him at the airstrip?
Let's see. It's been a while since he's gotten to drive American.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we're gonna go with like a very like vintage model like Buick town car.
Sure.
Very elegant, very classy, very retro.
Sure. So you decided that you needed, considering everything that's been going on, it's only been a few days since the Bahari ceremony, and a few days since Alen almost died. And you have decided that it's time to take a break from Berlin to just get some perspective, get away with Alen, which you've never ever done in the 11 years that you've been together. And you're driving down the dark, often wet cobblestone streets of Glasgow. And something you would have noticed, Edgar, from the time that you were in your private jet until you landed here in Scotland, that that sort of intense personality shift of Alen that you experienced the night of the Bahari party has dimmed or lessened somewhat. She suddenly, around the time that you were flying over the channel, she suddenly started getting very quiet. And even though she had obviously her own seat to look out the window, she decided instead that she wanted to sit on your lap and look out your window and lean her head on you. And she just got very, very, very quiet. And even now, so you driving down these streets, she's still quiet. She hasn't said anything. And you told her to dress warm. And she is dressed in cashmere, a lot of Dior stuff. And she's still wearing the necklace that she took from you and hasn't offered to give back. and she is wearing the ring. Are you wearing the ring that she gave you, or have you?
I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
And right now she's leaning her head on your shoulder. And she knows, as you told her, that you told Kenneth you were coming, and that you're going to meet him at the Thistle and Barrel, which is a local pub nearby where he lives now, in the home that you transferred ownership to. And as she leans her head on your shoulder as you drive, you suddenly become aware that she's begun crying. There's some dampness to your shirt. And she notices right away too, and she sits herself up and doesn't say anything. And just sort of tries to be casually wiping away tears, but not very good at it.
Edgar, for once, is very dressed down. He's sort of got a wool coat with a hooded sweatshirt underneath, jeans.
Sort of maybe dressing the way he would were he still mortal living in Scotland, no?
Yeah. I'll just sort of look over. When was the last time you were away from your parents?
I've never been away from my parents.
I imagine this is all quite jarring for you.
It is, but not in the way that you mean. I feel guilty.
What?
I feel guilty.
I heard you, but I don't understand. Why do you feel guilty?
I don't. It's always so hard to explain it. These things happening to me. As soon as we lifted up away from Berlin, I started feeling like myself again. This, whatever it is, this power always thrumming in me felt less. And I felt peaceful. I felt like myself again. And it makes me feel guilty because that means I need to be in Berlin.
I understand.
Edgar, I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I scared you or if I hurt you that night.
First of all, you've never scared me. I worried for you and about you. You've never scared me. That night I met you in Maxim, I knew you were a woman possessed of power that others never saw, without knowing anything about this magic that's awakening in you.
I scared myself, Edgar.
I think that's only natural. We scare ourselves all the time. You remember the first time you hopped on a bike without training wheels? Your boat went, ass over tea kettle over the handlebars.
This is a different fear.
All of life is just different fears, I think.
I don't want to lose who I am for this power. And I don't think if I was in Berlin right now, I would be thinking that way. I feel so clear-headed here.
I think after the conversation that I had with Adelaide the other night, I think we're going to deal with this very soon, and hopefully dealing with this relic that Lucius wants might get you feeling into better spirits.
It's just so nice not to hear the constant singing from the island. And I'm ashamed to say it.
No, I understand. I can't hear it the way you do, but it's why I picked that place. It kept me sharp and ready to cut, and that's who I needed to be until I met you. It's still who I need to be, just not all the time.
I am still very sorry, Edgar. I don't want to turn into someone that you can't love because of this power.
And I don't ever want to be that person you saw in Berghain with the witch.
Okay.
You have your power. Kindred, we are drawn to power, just in a different way. It's a hunger that is incalculable. We find ourselves drifting to elders, hoping to, even if it's subconsciously, cut a little of their power away for ourselves. I don't want to be that, but I also can't deny that I will always have those instincts.
Can I ask you a question, Edgar?
You can ask me anything.
You said that me drinking your blood dulled my power. Would it dull it after I come into it fully?
I don't have the answer to that. We're on this journey together, and the witch did say one thing that I believed when she wasn't trying to ham-fistedly get me to bring you to her. It's that the others like you, there aren't many, but they will, once you come into it, they will come looking for you. They will try to manipulate you into their own ends and goals. That's neither here nor now. Whatever comes, I will stand with you.
Edgar, the only destiny that I want is to be with you. And I, as much as you are mine, I want to be yours. I want to do what's right. But I'm afraid. And in Berlin, I'm not afraid. And it contributes to this fear. Would you take me out of Berlin after I destroy the Shadowbane? Will you take me away? Feed me your blood. Make this power stop.
If I can.
It's not a world worth saving if I can't be with you.
I understand. I do. But it's never been about the power, and if I can help you quell that and just live a life as who you are, I will. But I'm not sure it's that easy, darling.
Nothing worth having ever is. But you're worth having.
I need to... I know we've already had this conversation. I know you are aware of how I feel. I never want you to be what I am. But if there is no other option to quell your power, is that what you would want?
I don't know. I don't want to hurt you, Edgar. And I know it would hurt you.
I'm not saying that I would do it.
I know it would hurt you anyway.
Yes, it would. But
if there are people coming looking for me, why can't they destroy the Shadowbane? Why is it me?
you said to me once that your mother told you that souls remember.
Yes.
I think you've done it before. I don't think this is it's something I've been thinking about. Really, since we talked to Yancy and the dragon,
She shudders when you say dragon.
I get the distinct feeling that this has all happened before. And we're just here again. I think you've done this before. think we have done this before.
She touches at the necklace. I think you're right, Edgar.
I think this feeling that you get when you're there, it's not you now, it's you then. And that's, by all rights, terrifying. But, we can't stop what we don't know, and we can't change what we don't understand.
But we can enjoy the moment, right?
Every single moment.
I am excited to try Scottish food.
You shouldn't be, it's not special.
So as you drive, you reach the Thistle and Barrel. You can do some street parking. Used to that, living in a city. And it's a very traditional Scottish looking building with the architecture. It's weathered but inviting with a mix of stone and brick, and has a big sign that has a couple of lights hanging over it that say the Thistle and Barrel. And you see the soft warm light spilling out through the leaded windows, and you hear soft conversation happening inside. And Alen sort of squeezes your hand. I really hope that Kenneth is doing well.
I think he is. I have high hopes for him.
And she sort of waits for you to lead her. And she looks a little uncomfortable here. Living in Berlin is not so much like living in other parts of Germany, where it's much more modern, right? But this place just absolutely seeps out from every brick and mortar the medieval quality to it. She feels very out of place here.
Edgar will just smile and kind of put his hand in the small of her back as they walk in, and he'll just whisper in her ear, I guarantee you the streets you walked as a child are much older than these.
That's true, but I should have worn different shoes.
We'll get you some wellies.
I don't know what that is.
Galoshes, rain boots.
Ah, okay. No designer ones, I guess.
Wellies. Just head inside.
So as you head in, you see, or you immediately hit with the smell, obviously, of malted beverages. There's a big menu that greets you right as you open the door, and it features the hearty Scottish fare like haggis, neeps, tatties, as well as steak pies and fish and chips, and a special steak tartare, as you requested when you did speak to Kenneth, that he finds a pub that serves steak tartare for reasons that he doesn't know. And you see him, he has reserved a table here. It looks like that he, what we call in Germany, he has a Stammtisch here, a place that he has reserved, that he keeps on reserve, so that's always free for him whenever he wants to come in. And it's a small private booth, enough for 4 people to sit in. And he sees you and he sort of flags you down, and Kenneth looks... Seeing him in person is even better than seeing him in the pictures that Bella showed you. He looks radiant, the picture of health. He has glowing skin. He looks like he has put on an appropriate amount of weight so that he doesn't look emaciated anymore. He's got big, bright white teeth. His dark hair doesn't have any signs of greasiness or anything. He's keeping himself clean, and he's dressed pretty sharply.
Edgar will just smile and walk over, give him a hug.
He gets up right away and he hugs you and he says, God, I can't believe I've missed you this much. I haven't been that long since I saw you.
It has been. I haven't seen this you since you were just a boy.
That's fair enough. How the hell are you?
Things are getting intense, but I don't I don't see it coming down anytime soon.
Sounds like the Berlin I remember.
What are you calling yourself here?
I've sort of gone through a couple of names, but I've settled on Dougal.
MacDougal. I like it.
Yeah. I kind of have to talk to you about something about that nature. And he sort of looks over at Alen, and he he gives her a hug. And she hugs him back, and she expresses to him that she's glad he's looking so well, and he expresses a hearty thank you to her. It's a little awkward for him. He doesn't really know how to thank someone for what she did, because he probably couldn't put it into accurate words if he tried. And Alen says to you, I'm going to go try and find the bathroom. Here. They have bathrooms here, right?
Aye, they do.
Okay.
Should be, if I remember correctly, it's around the corner down the hall, second on the left.
Okay. And she sort of, like a deer first learning how to walk, walks through this pub, trying not to bump into anyone, sort of taken aback by the rowdy nature of some of the patrons. And so Kenneth sort of invites you to sit across from him in the booth.
I'll sit.
And says, I'm so glad that you're here. I mean, I know just from being who I am that it's real hard for people like you to get away from where they live.
I have means, and that makes it a little easier, but it's still very difficult. I'm anticipating a hostile re-entry to Deutsch airspace.
Well, if Dad has anything to say about it, sure. And he begins speaking in German to sort of ensure that it's very unlikely anyone in Glasgow is speaking German, but he speaks to you in German. And he slides over a small stack of papers that look very old, weather-worn. He slides it over to you. I never did tell you how I figured out that Osric was my father. That's really what sent me on the edge.
I've known for a while.
I figured you knew all along.
11 years ago. You said you're not my father, are you?
No.
Kenneth, you have no idea how much I wanted to just lie to you and say that I was.
Probably would have saved a lot of trouble for everyone. But, you're not clairvoyant like Mom.
Even your mother is not truly clairvoyant.
Tell her that.
I plan to.
He taps down at the paper. They've lied to all of us. Even you, Eddie.
Was ist das?
Ein Tagesbuch. A journal.
On...
Journal by Valentino Giovanni. Ever heard the name?
Does it ring a bell?
He goes by Osric Dunsarn now, and he slides it across the table.
And he'll flip through, sort of doing a cursory read.
So you flip through it, you get the feeling that this journal was written quite some time ago. It's quite old and weather-worn. And it was clearly written at a time when Osric was feeling at his lowest, as it asks the reader to kill him. You don't know if this was maybe a suicide note or whatever Kindred have as a suicide note. But it talks about how Osric Dunsarn was born as Valentino Giovanni, in addition to his sisters, Francesca Giovanni and Isabella Giovanni. And of course that name stops you as you read through it, because Olivia's daughter and Kenneth's sister is Isabella. And it goes through their childhood, their extremely abusive childhood of being blood bonded off and on, and controlled and manipulated. Nothing new there. Very Giovanni-like. Also talks about how Osric was being trained as a contract killer as a ghoul for Seneca Giovanni when the family finally moved to Berlin. And you learn that Osric, and by extension Olivia, are much older than you thought. Osric was born in the winter of 1833. And you learned that when they came to Berlin, although Osric had had dalliances with both of his sisters, again, a common practice among the Giovanni, and one that spread obviously to Kenneth and his feelings for Bella, you learned that he began a relationship with Hannelore Giovanni. Of course, that name stops you dead in your tracks as well. She was the daughter of Seneca Giovanni, the mortal daughter of Seneca Giovanni, and the two of them got married and had a son, Lucius Giovanni. Proceeds forward to talk about how they came across a prophecy or a premonition that a purge of the Giovanni elders was coming, and by extension, anyone Giovanni would be caught up in this purge. And so he attempted to hide his family in other bloodlines. But he was betrayed by Francesca Giovanni, who was loyal to her family. Lucius was taken away, sent to here in Scotland to be raised amongst loyal Giovanni. And eventually, Valentino was embraced as a Duncern, but not before he had a child with one of his sisters, Isabella Giovanni. Daughter he named Tegan. He never got to know what Isabella named the daughter because Francesca murdered her out of jealousy. He gave Tegan to Hannelore Lamia, who was embraced as a Lamia at this point. And when he became a Duncern, after giving Francesca 2 children, Kenneth and Isabella, he embraced Francesca himself and called her Olivia. In addition to this journal, there is a picture. It seems to be a picture, a photo that someone has taken of an actual portrait. And it is a picture of Hannelore, a young toddler, Osric, Olivia, and a woman you don't know. It must be this Isabella. It's taped to the end of the journal. At the end of the journal, Osric says that he tried to do everything to save his family, and all it did was hollow him out and replace him with a monster. And Kenneth waits patiently as you read it.
Where did you get this?
Well, I was gonna end it all in some grand fashion. I was looking for something super dramatic to drape over myself, to really stick it to mom and dad. I wasn't in a good place. I don't know, I just found it. I was mad, high, drunk. I don't remember exactly where it was in the house.
But this was in your mother's house.
Yes. Not sure if I should call her Francesca or Olivia.
You shouldn't refer to her at all. She's dead to you.
Pretty much.
I will make sure the right things get done with this information. I don't want you to dwell on them anymore. Your sister's doing well.
Is she, though? She's a ghoul.
It's what she wants.
Your girlfriend, whatever, what she did to me, she got everything out of me, even the blood. You don't know how freeing it is. Bella doesn't know.
No, she doesn't.
But I'm going to be real honest with you, Eddie. Don't go back there.
I have to.
Stay here. Why? You have obviously some sort of, I don't know, shit out of some fairy tale fey creature or whatever she is.
She's a magician.
Okay. But she loves you. right? And you love her. I know you can't make babies, but they have in vitro. Give her children. Keep her here. Don't send her back there. She will... What mom will do, what the family will do. Don't send her back there. Don't do it.
I am going to move things in a way that your mother and your father aren't a problem anymore. They're not the ones I'm worried about.
Who else is there to worry about? She's a
It's not-
murderer, Eddie. She killed her own sister when she was alive. What the fuck do you think she's done as a dead person?
A lot, because I did half of that. However, it's more of a situation of the devil that you know. And right now, they are both devils that I know.
Alen returns at this point, and she has with her, I ordered some food and drinks. I know Eddie can't drink. I'm sorry.
We'll see what happens.
And she puts it down. She ordered fish pie, and it looks like she just ordered a bunch of things from the menu because she didn't recognize any of it. And so she comes with, they gave her like a one of those circular trays, and she just comes and lays it on the table. There's beer and Scottish whiskey, and I don't know what to start. How do you start? Why is everything brown?
Edgar will take one of the whiskey shots and hold it up. If this were the ocean and I were a duck, I'd swim to the bottom and drink my way up. But this ain't the ocean, and I'm not a duck. So let's drink these drinks and get fucked up. And I'll knock it down.
And she laughs. And she laughs, but then she sees you knock it down, and she knows. You've told her what's supposed to happen, and she... Edgar?
It's something
I know it smells in here, but you shouldn't vomit in here.
No, I won't.
And you don't. And the whiskey doesn't taste necessarily good, but it doesn't taste bad. It tastes neutral.
How much did you have to pay this place to put tartar on the menu for the evening, Kenneth?
I had to promise to pay for some of their repairs.
Good lad.
It's all right.
And Edgar will, get a cracker, take some off, put it on, and just eat.
You eat the cracker?
Strategically scraping it off.
There you go. And then putting the cracker down.
Yeah.
Alen looks fascinated, amazed. Edgar, what's happened? Are you going to just puke later?
No. I had a feeling the other night, and I ate, and I kept it there.
What does it mean? Is it the cure?
No. No. I still... Edgar will kind of flash his fangs very quickly. I still am what I am, but I am getting closer to being what I was.
That's wonderful, Edgar. Eat more, I want to watch.
And yeah, he'll eat and drink and just kind of catch up with what's Dougal doing for work.
So Dougal has decided that he wants to start his own landscaping company.
Okay.
And he's decided that he wants to spend a lot of his time working outdoors, that so much of his life was spent inside and especially alive at night, that he wants to do things outdoors and in the sun.
Good. Well, Edgar would just tell him, all of his startup equipment, just invoice the company for it.
I got it.
Okay.
I got a lady friend that I'm
is that
sad to see.
right?
Yeah, her name's Moira. Her name's Moira.
Moira.
Mm.
What's she do?
What's she do? What doesn't she do? She's a lawyer.
I was a lawyer in this city not too long ago, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Do I know her?
I think she's related some way. It's a familiar look about her.
Introduce us.
I'd love to, but I gotta go meet her for a thing. But,
Alright.
maybe you should stay a few days just to try it out. And I'd love to introduce you to Moira.
I have thought about, which Alen and I have not yet discussed. My mother lives in Edinburgh. And so does, and he'll kind of look at Kenneth, Roger.
And Kenneth's face sort of drops. How long have you known about that?
About my mom and Roger?
Yeah.
A few years. I had a feeling
kind of a
you're...
big deal, Eddie.
How do you mean?
He sort of looks at Alen, looks back at you, realizing there's no language he can speak in that she's not going to understand. So he just says, fuck it, and speaks it in German. Roger's he's the old Death Clan.
I know.
Like
and
Ilsa,
that's why I
like
need...
Ilsa Asher, like old.
You can say the word. He is a Cappadocian.
They don't say that anymore.
They do.
Right. Right. Edinburgh, that's where fucking... He looks at Alen again, looks back. That's where fucking Lucius was.
And that is why I need to go there.
Well, there you go. Take a drive up to Edinburgh. Come back here. Stay a few nights. Who knows, maybe you have more tricks up your sleeve than just eating tartare. Or down your pants, or whatever.
Well, I get to wake up an hour before the sun sets, and I'm able to stay awake until an hour after the sun rises.
I've seen miracles happen. Literally.
Yeah.
Isn't it about time that you got one?
I'm living one every day. Even when I'm there, I'm still living a miracle.
Not as long as Mom and Dad are there, you won't. It's just a facade.
And one day, they'll be dealt with, but it's not right now.
And when?
I will let you know when.
And this Lucius person. I heard him whispering about him. Mom and Dad.
Yes, Lucius is our first concern.
Mom is in cahoots with him. I don't know who he is, besides what this journal tells me, or what he wants. But I know whatever it is, Mom has fallen all over herself to do his bidding.
Do you remember when you were young and I told you about the veil?
Yes.
Lucius is going to tear it down. There will be nothing separating the realm of the living from the realm of the dead.
What the fuck did you not bring Bella for? Why did you leave her?
I love her. But she's not mine to do what I wish with.
He looks again at Alen. If she didn't take charge and do what she did, I'd be fucking dead.
You would at least be my son. And I don't think you should discount that. Look me in my eye, boy. I'm going to have to watch you grow old.
I can't fucking wait.
I can't either. I want to see what you make of yourself. But make no mistake, my arms were the first to hold you out of the womb. And they will be the last to hold you before you enter the grave.
I look forward to it. Keep that shitty blood away from me. He stands up from the table, slaps you on the back. Think about what I said. Seriously.
We'll probably be back in a few nights.
And he inclines his head to Alen. And Alen has tried some of the food. She's picked at some of it. Mostly she just drank the beer. And she says, so are we staying at Kenneth's? Or...
I have a place for us.
Okay. Do you want to spend more time here?
Oh, not at all. It smells like swelling piss.
Oh, yes, but I thought that was part of it.
It is a part of the charm when you're alive. It's part of the charm.
Where I'm from, everything smells nice. And spicy.
I'm used to smelling a bit more blood in the air in here, though. This when I was a lad, this was the place to go if you wanted to get yourself a Donnybrook.
Well, the crowd seems a little older. Everyone looks older.
They do.
But it's nice to hear you talk about the place that you grew up.
I'd like to go to the place you grew up someday.
I want to go to Turkey.
I would. And then maybe after that, maybe we can do some genealogical work and figure out where your family came from in Iran.
You say that again. She touches the necklace. Yes. Maybe.
I'd like to see that place as well.
I've never seen it myself. War forced my parents away. And my parents sacrificed everything so I could have a better life. And they've always loved me and treated me well. And I'm sorry that was not the case with you, Edgar.
My father tried.
I know. And I know that they loved you. I saw it in your eyes.
Speaking of my parents, would you object to spending a night or two in Edinburgh? I need to speak with my mother and her sire.
Your mother is like you.
No. She's not like me at all.
I will go anywhere with you, Edgar.
Alright. Now then, we'll stay here tonight and we'll go to Edinburgh tomorrow evening. I should call Roger if I can. It's not wise to show up to a Camarilla prince's domain unannounced.
As you say that, you feel the presence of a man standing behind you. Tall man, casting a large shadow over you.
The girl just looked back over his shoulder.
It's a man with very dark skin and long dark hair that he has pulled up into a high bun on his head. The shirt he's wearing is a little too small. His muscles sort of tense out of it. I assume that you are Edgar Wade.
And who am I to assume that you are, lad?
You can call me Duncan.
Duncan. Pleasure.
I am a representative of the local, and he looks to the left and to the right, the local tower here in Glasgow. We received word that you arrived on your airstrip.
I did.
Your name is not unfamiliar to us. And the representative from Edinburgh is on good terms with the representative from Glasgow. You have been invited to meet with him in 3 nights.
In Edinburgh.
Yes.
Right. And I assume that your representative would like to talk.
My representative has acquiesced that you first meet with him in Edinburgh. Once you have, you will come pay deference to the representative of the tower here, and then you will leave this country. Or at the very least, this city.
I think that can be arranged, but I look forward to brokering a more equitable deal in person.
This is a courtesy. Paid by the tower representative of Edinburgh. Please remember that when you meet him. And he turns and he leaves.
Christ, I hate the fucking cammies. They're all cloak and dagger. Oh, everything's got to be a big dramatic show.
I don't know, that was a little exciting.
It wouldn't have been exciting if I would have had to kill him.
Well, I'm glad you didn't.
I'm glad as well. He probably hits like a fucking Mack truck.
Edgar,
Aye.
is your father buried here in Glasgow?
Aye. Yes.
In my culture, it is important that we pay tribute to the elders who have passed. We shouldn't have come in here before doing that.
You're right. You're right. Let's draw it up to eagerness to see the boy. Make sure he's doing well.
And he is doing so well. You must be proud.
I am. And Edgar will take out his phone and text Kenneth very quickly. Tower had eyes on us at the pub. You should know.
He responds back pretty quickly. Yeah, sorry, forgot to mention. They found me day 1. And then another text. Nice guys, though.
And Edgar will text back, sure, for a bunch of bellends. And then just put his phone in his pocket. Yeah, we should go. St. Anthony's is... We'll need to drive a bit, but that's where my father's buried.
Are you drunk from the shot?
No.
I'm a little stronger beer than I expected.
And yeah, it's good for you. We've got to get you an iron brew before we leave.
I don't think I could ever get used to the customs in this place.
What? Being drenched in rain, depressed and drunk all the time?
No. You don't feel it here?
Feel what?
This land doesn't belong to... And then she stops talking. I'm sorry.
No, say
Let's
it.
go. No.
Doesn't belong to what?
You. Or me. Or anyone here. Belongs to... something else. Something... older.
I know what you mean. We've got tales here in this country.
Don't know what that means. But let's go see your father.
Yeah. Alright, let's head on.
So, as you drive to Alen, to, you said St. Anthony's, to the graveyard. And you park your car and begin heading into this, of course, ancient graveyard. You see tall weathered tombstones. Inscriptions on the stones are all worn out by the time and the elements. You see ancient trees with their gnarled limbs and a few dimly lit lanterns and some flickering candles on the actual grave where people leave candles. And you lead Alen to your father's grave. Would you like to describe if there's anything on the inscription on there?
It's very simple. Gerard Waite didn't die with a lot to his name. It's a very small, very humble grave marker that just says his birth and death dates, his name, and just says a loving father. It's a small sort of white stone.
Mm-hmm.
Moss is just starting to creep along the edges, and it's been 30 years.
It's been longer than that, I think. Closer to 40 years. Alen, when she notices which grave it is, she bends down, even in her designer clothes, and she touches on the ground, not the tombstone, and she begins saying a prayer of peace in Farsi.
Edgar will do his best to keep up.
Mm-hmm. And she finishes the prayer by thanking him for giving her his son.
You know, it's funny. I told the gravesman that they shouldn't put his God-given name on that tombstone. He hated being called Gerard. It's just Jerry. Oh, would Jerry wait? He was a good man.
I'm sure he would be very happy to see that you're happy, Edgar. I know that's what he wanted for you.
He gave me a lot of good years.
Yes, I am disappointed I will never see you topless on a fishing boat.
Oh no, this keeps going the way it's going, you may.
Do you mean?
I mean, I'm already eating. I feel my heart beat sometimes.
Yes, I thought that you looked more healthy, but you look that way when you manipulate your appearance, but you look like that all the time now.
I don't know what's happening to me.
I'm sure it's my fault, whatever it is. It seems to be what's always the case.
If it is what you're doing, which I don't think it entirely is. Let me be very clear. When we made the choice, when I made the choice to let Kenneth leave, some dam broke. And I've been feeling better and better and better.
Well, then maybe all the things I do aren't calamitous.
That's a new word for you.
I like languages.
I've noticed. Anyway, he would have loved you.
That's nice to think about.
He always told me, he'd say, "Listen here, Eddie." He'd say, "Marry yourself a woman whose dumbest thought is smarter than anything you've ever imagined."
Is that what you think of me, Edgar?
I I think you're the most intelligent woman I've ever met. I think you're canny. I think you're wise beyond your years.
And yet
And
you haven't married me.
Well, German paperwork has been something of an obstacle.
For everyone, Edgar. Even you.
And trust me, I've pumped quite a bit of money into the judiciary system to try and get it sped up, and we're still going fucking nowhere. So on that regard, there's a chapel right there, and I know the priest.
Edgar, I'm wearing pants. Not even wearing a dress.
Doesn't matter.
I look older than you, Edgar. People are going to say that I'm robbing the cradle.
I do you care what people say?
No, but I care if they look and you see.
Well,
You are Scottish. I don't want you to punch out the priest.
if you can count on one thing, it's the only person I won't punch out as a priest. And besides, I know this one. At least if it's the same one that was here the last time I was here. Which it should be. I mean, he'd be an old man. But
She comes up to you, puts her hand against your lips. Of course I'll marry you, Edgar.
alright then.
I would have married you the moment you said yes.
We'll still need to go through the legal processes in Germany just in case anything were to happen to me. That things would be yours.
Oh, Edgar. If anything happened to you, I don't want to think about what I would do.
I don't either. But I would at least want you and your mother and father taken care of. And full disclosure, if I keep doing better the way I am, when all of this is settled, I think we should look at children.
Children? Is that safe?
If I keep on this, I think it might be.
I mean, no, I don't mean you, Edgar. I mean in this world that we know exists, that nobody else knows about. Is it safe to bring children into it?
We don't get to choose. Because if we don't bring them into it, someone else worse may. Let me be very clear. It's something I said to Maria the other night. What I am, we make the world worse simply by existing in it. We can't help it. We can do everything we can to be good. And we can do everything we can to ethically do what it is we do, but at the end of the day, we truly do make the world worse simply by existing in it. And if I am doomed to that fate, then I would at least like to know the love of a child again.
She comes up and wraps her arms around you. I believe in other lives I've given you many children. And I will try to give you one in this life.
That girl just kiss her on the cheek. There are many children that are stuck in horrible situations all around the world. And we could get a few of them out. Good thoughts.
Good words.
Let's go get our hands faster, eh?
She takes your hand and waits for you to lead her to the chapel. And as Edgar and Alen plan to get married, at least according to the eyes of God in Scotland, Edgar has to make preparations to not only see his mother again for the first time in decades, but also to meet the infamous Roger de Camden, who may know more about Lucius than that snippet in a journal. That is where we are going to end our scene for this evening, Mirror of the Heart, and we are going to miss Edgar for the next episode as well, extremely a lot. Because Edgar is a delight.
You won't miss me that much. You got a whole crew of rock stars. You'll be fine.
But thank you so much. Hello, everyone. And we're moving now to our final scene this evening of Mirror of the Heart. And would you like to introduce yourself and who you're playing?
Hello, I, on the day-to-day, am as I was on the social media, because I think I'm funny, and tonight I will be playing Adelaide Nagaraja.
Mm-hmm. And tonight, Adelaide Nagaraja is heading to the Charlottenburg Schloss, or if I try to say it in an American way, Charlottenburg Palace. Does that sound more American that way? I wouldn't know. To meet with their, how would you want to put it, their paramour, their beau, the interim prince of the Camarilla of Berlin, Kasim Batama. And Adelaide, this is your first time going to Charlottenburg Schloss. He has invited you here, and that's different for Kasim, as Kasim normally comes to you. And as you approach the palace, it's a magnificent former royal residence that exemplifies the grandeur of the Baroque and Rococo architectural styles, like many places in Europe. And as you approach, its opulent facade comes into view. It's huge. You can see it in the Discord. The main entrance features an impressive golden dome, or a cupola, as it's called, adding an air of regality to the skyline. The exterior is adorned with intricate sculptures, ornate carvings, classical motifs, showcasing the craftsmanship of the era it was built. And that's what you're walking through just to get to it. The palace is also surrounded by sprawling gardens, elegant pathways lined with manicured hedges that lead to that supposed grand entrance, while fountains and statues accentuate the formal beauty of the landscape. As you walk through this, I mean, it's something out of a fairy tale. What is going through Adelaide's mind walking through a Disney cartoon?
This is what Kasim talked about. This opulence, this beauty that the Camarilla affords, being able to live somewhere like this, and it's nothing like Adelaide's ever had before.
Mm-hmm.
All throughout her life and unlife, it's been Alexander's version of opulence, which is piles of bodies and corners and ritual components.
Which is being not rich in wealth, but rich in bodies.
Rich in bodies, gore, and blackmail.
Yes. So as you approach the palace, you don't have to knock on the very large, ornate door because it opens for you. And who is standing there waiting for you? Well, it's Heidi. And she's dressed like she does not belong here. She's dressed as she always is, in her leathers and latex and dog collars and studs and piercings. And she looks you up and down, and she's smoking a cigarette. And she says,
Good evening, hi.
You're late.
Traffic was more than I expected in this area.
I only say it because it's really funny, because Kasim is just a bundle of nerves.
How adorable.
That's one word for it, sure.
Sorry, where is he? Might I come inside?
Yes, of course.
Or-
I'm here to escort you to Kasim. He's in the tea house.
Tea house? There's a whole tea house inside?
Yes, but you have to walk through here to get to the gardens, and it's in the middle of the gardens.
How big is this place, Heidi?
Huge. Is it not obvious from the outside?
No, it is. It's comprehension versus
I think
ideal.
the last person to live here was Kaiser Wilhelm before the end of World War One.
And now it's just a camarilla.
Well, the people think that it is a museum, but it's always under repairs. Because people
That
are
makes
stupid.
sense. Humans are very stupid. You just tell them what they want to hear, and
A little razzle-dazzle, prestidigitation, and that's all they need.
slap a couple warning signs on things, and you can get away with a lot.
That is how the Camarilla has functioned this long, yeah.
I did actually, now that you're here, I was curious if you knew whose domain the Mita was under.
The Mita.
Mhm.
And look, I know that you Hecata think different ways about different things. Until your promise is renewed, everything that is not Anarch, which is fucking Friedrichshain, is Camarilla.
I was just making sure that it was under Camarilla. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And she sort of holds her hand open to let you in. And as you enter the palace, you're greeted by a sumptuously decorated room, of course, that reflects the grandeur of the past. Gilded moldings, crystal chandeliers, exquisite frescoes, elaborate tapestries, rich upholstered furniture. And Heidi, of course, you take a moment to take this all in, and Heidi sort of clocks your deer in headlights face, and she just sort of like rolls her eyes and makes a little click sound with her tongue. And she leads you down a balcony with stone steps out to these back gardens that are much more private. The gardens that you came through are where people can walk through and sunbathe during the day, but these are private. And she leads you down a tree-lined pathway into a hedge maze, and you follow her through this hedge maze, and you keep following her through this hedge maze, and it gets a little uncomfortable because you're thinking, I don't know how I'm going to get out of here if someone doesn't lead me out, and I don't know how Heidi knows where she's going. And why wouldn't you just walk through the maze, through the bushes? That's the easiest way to do this. But instead you're taking lefts and rights and this and that. But eventually you get to a small building that's hidden in the middle of this maze. It's a bright blue building made of wood and stone. And it says tea house on it.
This is beautiful.
Heidi has
are you
disappeared.
going- Oh. I'm sure Kasim knows the way. And just walks up to the tea house.
Mhm.
To the door. And knocks.
You get one knockout before Kasim opens it. He's dressed in a Chanel suit. It's all black. He has a crimson shirt underneath it. And his hair is pushed back into the low ponytail that he always likes to wear. As soon as he sees you, he brightens up immediately, smiles, which is pretty rare for Kasim. He's not a big smiler. And he pulls you in immediately and kisses you. Are you wearing the necklace?
No.
Okay.
I left it with Bella tonight. She's wearing it.
Jesus Christ. Okay. That could have gone real bad, real fast. So
Yeah.
he pulls you in immediately and kisses you and pulls you into the tea house and closes it behind you, still kissing you. And eventually he breaks away from you and says, I am so glad you're here. If that wasn't obvious.
I don't know. You might have to show me some more.
And he does, immediately. He lifts you up and takes you over to a settee that they have here. It's this very small square room that looks like it is exactly for its purpose, for sitting down and enjoying a tea for maybe like 4 or 5 people at a time. It's bizarre, and it's a real thing, so I have to include it. And it's a bizarre thing to have here, but it's a thing here.
Mhm.
And he sits you down on the couch, still kissing you. And you can break apart from him at any time, otherwise he'll just
Yeah.
spend the rest of the night doing this and further things.
Yes, so she does. She puts her hands on
Mhm.
each side of his face.
Thank you for inviting me. It's nice to actually spend the evening out together, even though we're in. But I think I prefer it that way.
Yes, this was the compromise that I wanted to come to. I do want to take you out, Adelaide. I do want to see the lights of Berlin shine in your eyes, but it is dangerous out there. And even me taking this time to be with you is taking away from my duties, but I couldn't wait anymore for a night that may never come.
We need to enjoy the time that we have. The brief moments that we do.
I know I've been preoccupied, and I haven't been checking in with you as often as I should have. Please, tell me how you are.
Like, the look on her face kind of dims. She was, for once, smiling.
Mhm.
She's not afraid to smile in front of Kasim.
It's been difficult. When we talked last, when you came by with what Lucius is doing and the Shadowlands, we went to go see the Bahari. I met Lucius and
You met this Lucius.
yes, I did.
He sort of
He's
tenses in his shoulders. And did he threaten you?
No, he was trying for information. I think about where I stand
How odd.
and about the other Giovanni. I don't know why he was there.
That falls entirely under your purview, Habibti. I wouldn't know.
I know.
And, like, seeing him tense, she'll, like, run her fingers across his face, down his neck.
And I met the witch of Bergain.
He raises an eyebrow. You met the Witch of Kudam in Bergain.
Yes. She's...
I wish you had told me. I would have sent Heidi or Marlena, or I would have braved it myself.
It's gone well thus far. I thought maybe she knew some more about this Shadowbane, and she did.
And?
We're all in danger.
We are all always in danger.
This is different. This is something that could undo everything.
You know me, Adelaide. I don't do well with wordplay.
No,
And, like, she'll kiss his face.
bringing the Shadowlands here.
The realm of the dead.
Yes,
Is that even possible?
it is. Somehow. What do you know about artifacts? I talked with the witch a bit, and Lamb. It's
Right.
it's complicated.
I don't find
But-
myself often in Bergain.
It's
ever.
quite fascinating, actually, watching all the people. It's like you just turn off the world and they just act.
That sounds awful.
It's better than Love Island.
Oh, please, we cannot have that discussion again.
I know.
I acquiesced one time to Bella, and I won't do it again. I am only so strong, Adelaide.
I appreciated it so much, and I appreciate that you did that for her. It meant a lot.
I would rather march into a nest of anarchs with nothing but my bare fists than do that again.
How is that going, by the way?
If I'm to be honest, Adelaide, it's going poorly. Something is happening. They are using distractionary tactics to lead us to places that are ultimately insignificant to their main horde of numbers. And we keep falling for it, and it is quite frustrating.
Sahira's doing something. She made a deal with the Butanesca.
I see. That bodes very poorly for our future plans. You do know that.
It does.
Who knows
looks like-
about this?
My coterie. The witch. I think.
Anyone in the Camarilla that you're aware of?
Heidi? Heidi knows many things, so I'm not surprised.
She did offhandedly mention that she was offering rent to a group of lost Hecata. I will have to speak with her about that.
That would be actually a good inn. Those three aren't in line with
Let me
their...
sour our date slightly by being very clear about something. I am attempting to sway the Primogen to my side to declare me prince when Praxis is declared. One of the pillars that I am trying to put forth of myself is one, of course, eliminating Sahira from Berlin, but two is an upstanding agreement with the Hecata, providing proof that you are a valuable asset to the Ivory Tower. This talk of Shadowbane and this talk of Hecata falling into, let's be honest with each other, the Sword of Cain, is almost disastrous, if not fully so.
Yes.
What is the plan for your family to deal with this?
I'm trying to get them all together to see reason.
Because I could certainly take my sword to their throats, but that too would pose an issue creating an agreement with the Hecata.
It would. And no matter how much Edgar has hurt my feelings in the past week, we're working together towards making sure.
I suppose I gave him that necklace for nothing then, if he goes around hurting your feelings.
What necklace?
Some years ago, before I, of course, knew that you were here in Berlin and unalive, he asked me about the necklace I was wearing. I was wearing a symbol of my faith, as you know. I am of the Zoroastrian faith. It's kind of a complicated story, Adelaide, and not one I'm proud of, personally. After what I did, when I took my revenge on the Nagaraja, I left Marrakesh. I wandered for quite a long time, seeking peace, seeking something to heal my soul, stumbled across a man who was wearing that necklace. And he taught me about his faith, and it did help me heal. And before I left him, he gave me the necklace and told me that one day someone would ask me about it, and to tell him that it would give him peace even in undeath. And Edgar was the first person to ask me about that necklace.
It did help. Heal.
Not if he's being rude to you and his shoulders tense again.
He's just overly emotional. Don't hold it against him.
Well, I can't say that I've never gotten overly emotional before.
Neither have I. I find it draining. Anyway, it helped. I'm not sure what it did. I thought maybe it would heal the soul with your faith. Sorry. Edgar's ghoul was not doing well.
Edgar has a ghoul?
Have you not met her?
No. When Edgar comes, and he hasn't come by for a while, for lessons, he comes alone.
Oh.
And mostly, what is the phrase, talk shop.
That sounds about right. No, healing the soul. I've been doing a lot of work into ways that can happen. It's good to know it's possible.
It's just a necklace, Adelaide.
It's far more than just a necklace.
I don't know what you mean.
That's fine.
He takes your hand in his.
Mhm.
I wanted to bring you here tonight because I wanted you to see what your future could possibly be, if it is still what you want. I know this takes some getting used to.
It's very different than what I'm used to.
But you would be free.
I would. But I need to make sure that I am free. In order to actually leave, there has to be a city to be free in.
Of that we agree. But Adelaide, if this isn't what you want, if this is not what you envisioned, say the words.
All I want is to be free.
Then free you shall be, in any way that I can break your bonds, untether you from whatever goes on within the Hecata.
I know. And I love you for that.
He smiles. Adelaide, I have never felt love like I feel with you. And I will do anything to keep it.
She'll kind of squeeze his hand and put her fingers through his hair. I didn't know that love like this was possible. And if I could spend my nights like this with you forever, I would.
We shall make it so. Together.
Together.
As you say that, you hear some sort of commotion happening outside the tea house. You hear Huddy shouting. You can't tell what she's saying. And Kasim stands up immediately, almost in front of you, as if to shield you from anything that might be coming. And something does, in fact, come. A massive, hulking glob of flesh that at one point might have been a person. Its face is twisted and distorted, and it busts through the door. And as it does, you can see just beyond it 3 more shambling hordes coming through who have walked right through the hedge maze here. And you see Huddy is struggling with a person. You don't know this person, but she is actively fighting them. And Kasim immediately runs over to behind the tea house and grabs a very large sword. And he looks back at you and he says, "Run."
For shambling hordes, this is a question.
Mm-hmm.
Do I know that if the source for the shambling hordes is killed, the hordes die?
Yes. Meaning, do you know if the person who raised them dies? That they'll die?
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
Like how? Okay.
But it's impossible for you to know who did it. I mean, you have a good idea, but you don't know where they are. They have to be close.
They have to be close. They have to be within 100 yards.
Mm-hmm. But you're in a hedge maze.
Yeah, Adelaide's going to send out her shadow.
So you're not going to flee. You're going to send out your shadow. Rouse check.
Yeah.
More dice for that.
Success!
Wonderful. Okay. So, sends it out, and it goes as far away from you as possible and comes back. And what you saw and heard was Huddy being someone who you don't know, touching Huddy, and she is, her face starts atrophying and crumbling. She's screaming at the top of her lungs. She's not looking super great out there. And you see and hear a couple of other people wandering around here. They were just out of the 100 yards that you need to be in. And of course, you saw the person controlling these shambling hordes. You got a flash of red hair. Ambrose Milliner is here.
Oh, that son of a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Make another roll for Kasim as he's fighting this guy. And there's more coming. God, he's rolling like a fucking king over here.
that's my boo.
Yeah, I was like, I might hurt Az's feelings by having Kasim go down, but yeah, he's fighting like a fucking king. 9 successes? Yeah, I think so. I think he's got it.
Yeah, no, he's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
So
And during these swings, he keeps shouting at you in Arabic, asking you to leave, to run. Why are you still here?
Adelaide, mainly because we're in the middle of a maze. So she's gonna start running and pull out her phone.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So let's take this by intention before we start doing multiple things at once.
Yeah, no.
So, you want to run. There's one door. The door where the horde is. Now, Kasim is currently cutting it into little bite-sized chunks. So, you got to get past him. So, firstly, a Dex Athletics roll.
I'm gonna rouse the blood. Okay. Don't fuck me.
I love when you say that.
Oh, success!
Okay. So,
Okay. My
part 1,
dice.
success.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay, here we go.
Mhm.
That one's 1. Oh, that not messy crit. Hell yeah. So 4, 5, 6, 7 successes.
Awesome.
It didn't hate me.
So you're able to very easily get past this shambling horde and dodge the one that's coming in right behind him. And you make a sharp left where you don't see any zombies coming towards you, but you do see Huddy. And Huddy is right now on the ground, and whoever was touching her with that Oblivion sight is draining her. You can help her or not.
I mean, I wouldn't owe a boon to Huddy anymore.
That is fair enough.
but I also need her. So if they're busy draining her,
Mhm.
Adelaide's going to bite into them
Awesome.
with her painful bite.
Yep. So, doesn't take a roll for this. You bite into him, and he immediately lets go of Heidi's neck and begins screaming, but he's gonna fight back. As you
So
know.
that would be strength and brawl.
Yes.
Okay. And I did buff physical attributes for the same.
So, for V5, when you buff, you buff everything.
Oh, hell yeah. Okay. That's
Oh, he rolled 0 successes. Wow, on 6 dice. Damn, he rolled 0
Strength
successes.
and brawl plus my extra. Maybe I should have joined Lamia.
Maybe you should have.
Oh god. Okay. All right. That's 4 successes.
Mhm. 4 successes. Oh, by the way, your conversation with Kasim constitutes you healing your aggravated willpower damage.
Yay!
By the way, you furthered the discussion of you joining the Camarilla, so that plays into that.
I willpower and missed you.
So you do a pretty significant amount down. You tear huge chunks out of his neck. He's screaming. He can't quite reach you because he's so lumbering and just not dexterous at all. And you're so petite and small that he just can't get to you. And Heidi is able to recover herself from this. And as you hold him back and are feasting on him, she takes the stake that she has and she jams it into his heart. And it's not a called shot, not really, because he's being restrained.
Yes.
Now, you may keep feeding on him, if you like, until you hit 0 hunger, but that's going to take time out of your escape.
It's gonna take time out of the escape, and Heidi could be helping Kasim.
Mm-hmm.
How long does Valerian take?
It takes a little bit of time. That's another thing that would take time. But as she stakes him, she goes in and she begins draining him.
She'll be fine.
Mm-hmm. So, now you need to figure out how to get out of this maze. Heidi doesn't thank you or address you. She's probably in a hunger frenzy at the moment. She recognized. I need you to make a wits and awareness roll to try and figure out how the hell to get out of this maze. Roll well, because if you go the wrong way, it will go bad.
Okay. Wait, I got us.
Remember, you buffed.
Yes. Okay. Wits and awareness. Okay. I believe in us.
You and me, dice against the world.
That is okay. That one's actually cocked. I lied. That is 5 successes.
Amazing. So you in this moment, almost like bullet time, you're able to remember exactly the way that Heidi led you here, which lefts, you're just reversing it, lefts and rights, going backwards. And you don't know what this is. This is the adrenaline. This is your beast just wanting to get out of here, but you're doing so well. You're doing so good. And as you reach to the end of the maze, you come across someone who you've heard about multiple times. And of course, you see it in their face. You know those eyes. It is Sahira. She looks just like Kasim, just like Alexander. And she looks at you, and she is shocked. And she says, I knew Alexander was a liar. Where is he?
Why don't you tell me why he's a liar then? Because I know why.
You people lied, said that you were dead, and Kasim killed our family for you. So I'll kill them. I'll kill everyone they ever touched in Berlin because they never should have been here to begin with. Go on. I know you want to. Make a move.
What did he tell you?
Who? Speak up.
Alexander. You want him so bad because of what he lied about. So do I.
It's you at the root of all of it. Clean out the rot. Start with you.
We're running.
Okay. So, she has celerity, but I will allow a final Dex Athletics to get away from her. Because she has Kasim in her sights.
But I'm the problem. I'm the one that caused them.
But she wants him dead too.
Yeah, I know.
So.
The
Shit.
romantic jester. Oh, blood buff. I got another 10. Okay. So that's I hit the other dice.
It's okay, Az. It's okay. I told you that something might happen to somebody. I told you that would affect episode 6.
Yeah, that's the 7 successes.
7 to 7. She's still gonna get you.
I know.
So you attempt to run past her, even running yourself through the maze just to get away from her, but she's fast. Fast like Kasim is fast. And she grabs a hold of you. She pulls you in really close. She's got your arms pinned behind you. And she says, "Tell me where Alexander is, and I'll kill you nice and quick." You'll enjoy it, I promise.
I don't know where he is.
She flips you around. And she has Dominate, which she's going to use, although you don't... Oh, you do know where he is, though. You do know where he is. You do know where he is.
Oh, I got the card! Fuck.
She 4. So that is Intelligence and Resolve.
Okay. 4 successes? No, 5. 5 successes.
That's enough to resist when she says to you,
Okay.
"Tell me where he is."
I don't know. I want him dead too. And
Then I think you
because of
should
Pepper-
come home with me, and we can talk about it.
She's going to scream.
Mm-hmm. Okay. If you do that.
I know.
So, you're going to scream. Are you sure that's the action you want to take?
Yeah, as she's trying to get away. Which, with tempered will, Sahira can't dominate me.
Well, I'm sure that there's nothing else she could do to you.
No, I'll just torture. It's fine.
So, in addition to Dominate, she also has Potence. She uses Soaring Leap. And she can leap... Christ. She can leap 15 meters straight up into the air. And for context, I keep telling you Hanalori is 7 feet tall, or about 2 meters tall. Sahira can leap 15 meters straight up into the air. And with you in her arms, she leaps out of the maze. Lands on top of the Charlottenburg Palace.
I do have a question.
Yes.
So, what is it, Panacea? It makes them totally relaxed,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
If we're mid-air and I use that on her, would it cause her to relax and drop me?
I would allow it. Normally, no, but I would allow it. Because that is creative, and I love it. Roll well.
Okay. Composure. and
You're going to take
prospect.
fall damage for this.
I know. Fall damage is not being captured by the hero, though.
It was real close. Might still be.
Messy. Okay. So 4, 7 successes with a messy crit.
That's great. So you attempt with the messy critical. So you attempt to use Panacea. You're like trying to be strategic about this, but you're like, why the fuck would I use Panacea? I got these bad boys. And you bite into her neck. And this, of course, immediately breaks her, not concentration, so to speak, but totally interrupts her trajectory. And she can't help but drop you. And she doesn't land perfectly on Charlottenburg Palace either. She lands sort of on the edge and has to catch herself. She has uncanny grip, though, so it's not going to be an issue for her. But you're going to fall to the ground from 15 meters up into the air. So I need you to fill up your entire track with superficial damage. And I need you to fill up 3 out of those with aggravated damage. You have broken your legs. And you are in an extraordinary amount of pain and you cannot walk. Your only hope now is to call upon the power of your blood to at least heal one of your legs to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
And you'll have to walk on a crunching, broken leg.
Worse things have happened when I was mortal.
Mm-hmm.
That's what she's holding on to. I passed my Rouse checks!
You passed all 3 rouse checks? So, as you lay there in agony on the ground, you call upon the power of your blood and you push your leg back in, turn it back in, the bone, and it snaps back into place like it's supposed to. It mends itself. You're still horrifically damaged. Remove 1 of those aggravated damage out of 3. You are impaired. So, your final roll to get out of this place, and you look horrible, and you're going to have to go into public with people. Your final roll is a composure and resolve roll to force your body out of this place with some measure of keeping the masquerade and also some measure of not collapsing in pain.
8 successes.
Messy critical.
Yeah.
Yeah. You are going to increase your hunger as you do it. You stand up, dust yourself off, and try to ignore the sick, wet, sloshing sound of your knee not connecting with the rest of your leg. You're trying to you move your skirt down, sort of hold it over that so no one else can notice, and you keep that stone face, that perfect facade that Alexander taught you as you quickly as possible, with your broken leg, leave Charlottenburg Palace, make your way to your car.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be really difficult to drive, but you got to figure it out. You just got to deal with it until you can get home and wait a few nights to keep healing, because you can't use Valerian on yourself.
Nope.
So, is there anything at this moment that Adelaide would like to do? Text Bella. Obviously, Kasim and Heidi are busy. Text your coterie. Text anybody. Or would you like to just go home?
Text to Bella.
Mm-hmm.
You're staying at Edgar's for a few nights.
Edgar is not here in Berlin currently.
Didn't Edgar give her like the passcode and key and all that?
No.
shit?
That's not why I say it. But there would be nobody
Okay.
watching her. Is why I say it.
Mm-hmm.
Not that anyone's watching her here, but unless you are also going to stay at Edgar's.
Yeah.
You're going to stay at Edgar's. Okay, so you're going to text Edgar and let him know that you're staying there?
Yeah. And if he says no, we're going to Tullio's.
Okay. Bella texts you back immediately and says, I'll meet you there.
Text to the coterie.
Mm-hmm.
3 hands to Tullio.
All right. And you head to Edgar's penthouse, and you know he's not there, and you're going to wait there for Bella. You have no idea. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
There for Tullio to text back as well. Like, we're just like, there's so much security here.
Mm-hmm. But you have no idea.
Wait.
You have no idea if Kasim is going to make it out of that hedge maze tonight, or Heidi, and suddenly the feeling of safety within the Camarilla seems like a very distant pipe dream. And that is where we are going to end episode 5, Mirror of the Heart, this evening. Thank you, Az, so much.